Hello, everyone. This is Incantations and Elixirs, where conversation meets cocktails. I'm Maureen Grudzinski, and we are with my lovely co-host,
Anthony Simonelli. How you doing?
How you doing? We're really happy to be here with you tonight. So for the first hour, we're going to play a wonderful game with our viewers and hopefully fans. It's going to be the nice and naughty of Christmas. The second hour, we're going to have our wonderful friends from, do I have this right? Entity Voices Paranormal and what's the other? Is it
Gagnac Paranormal, and also I always say this wrong. Digital Seance with ITC.
Intuitive. Lourdes, Gonzalez, and Yacovetti, who we love so much. We're so excited to have them with us. They're going to be a little late. They have to work tonight. So for the first hour, our viewers are going to play against each other. The second hour, we're going to have our viewers play against the expert paranormal investigators, and we're going to see who's going to win, the experts or the fans. And we will have some surprise prizes, which I will send to the winners. And let's see what happens. So let's see who we have with us tonight. Let's see. We have Ron. Hi, Ron. We have Bobby. Hi, Bobby. Ron. And we have some other people that I can't see. So if you're there, can you please tell us who you are? So we can keep track of scores.
Hello.
I'm going to try to sign in on Facebook to see who else is out there.
I don't see anybody's. Okay.
Yeah,
hey, Ron. I'm starting to see now. Hey.
Okay.
Hey, Ron. Oops.
Julie, our first-time viewer. Thank you for being with us. I hope everybody joins in.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna have some fun tonight. Can't wait for this.
This is going to be a good show.
Ron loves your lights, by the way. I'm not festive, but I'm not in a hoodie tonight.
I'm all festive.
This is the best you're going to get from me, I think.
I actually took this off my Christmas tree.
You did not. I was waiting for you to have like ornaments hanging from your ears.
You know, yeah, I can't find my little Christmas tree earring, so.
Well, you look adorable. I was more on the Krampusy side. I'm not a huge Christmas fan. I'm a Halloween fan. So in our house, my husband's the Christmas fan. I'm the Halloween fan. I don't know. I think Izzy's like the Thanksgiving fan because she likes the food. my
Nothing wrong with that.
So does his fiance, and you know the kids are all about the Christmas. So
the gifts.
Yeah, they love gifts.
So
they love toys. Anyone else? I know that there's 11 viewers right now, and we have like 4 people saying hi. So don't be afraid to tell us who you are. Otherwise, you're not going to get the prizes that I'm going to send out. We have some cool stuff. And we have to start. So are you just going to be shy until you start screaming out your answers?
Okay.
Nobody? All right.
Nobody wants to.
Or do you want me to start?
You might as well start.
Okay. To make it easy to begin with, or should we just go with the big guns?
Look,
it's
easy.
It's Dominic the Donkey, Giuseppe Cardona.
Dominic the Donkey.
Okay. We're going to start with an easy one? I don't think any of these are really easy. I like to make things hard. Like I love to dig the knife in. I'm a tough cookie. Oh, we dropped viewers. That must have been because of that, unless it was our impressions. of Dominic. Let's see. And in between, we're going to have discussions on what things are too. Hi, Senya. Senya, do you care if I tell your story too? I think it's a cool one. You can answer. All right. I think I'm going to start with the story I told you, Anthony. So in South Africa, parents tell kids a story about a boy named Danny who ate Santa's cookies. His grandma becomes enraged because of this. What happens due to grandma becoming enraged? I'm going to keep score.
Anybody?
Any takers?
I guess not. Huh?
Oh, this is a tough one.
It's a hard question.
It's a tough. I mean, it's tough, but.
Well, if you ate my cookies, you know what will happen?
She leaves with Santa. Okay, so you're not supposed to know the story. These are Grammy spontaneously combust. I like that answer. Anyone else? Who said she leaves with Santa? Is that Giuseppe?
What did he say?
I think he said she leaves with Santa. She's so angry she leaves with Santa. I'd probably leave the family too. But I would be more pissed if somebody ate my cookies. Ron said, Anthony, I would bake your own dozen. He's too sweet. Okay, so Julianne said, end of story, and we eat the rest of the cookie dough. I'm all for that one. I like the cookie dough. All right, no one else? So here's the answer. Kind of gives it away in the question. So parents tell kids a story about Danny who ate Santa's cookies. Grandma becomes enraged. She kills Danny. That's the naughty of Christmas. I love this. All right.
She kills him for eating Santa's cookies.
Yeah. I don't know why she'd be so angry about that. I'd be more pissed if somebody ate my cookies. I don't care if Santa's getting the cookies. All right.
I don't know. That's that's really severe punishment, huh?
Yeah. Nobody's getting their hands on my cookies. I can tell you that much. I'm going to end my comments with a G so that you know it's me. Great job. I like that. Okay. So where was this? That is in South Africa. They're a little they're brutal there, I guess. Julianne likes that. All right. So you want to go next with your questions? Do you want
to? Okay. I'll just ask. Okay. I'm going to ask, when was the first Christmas celebrated and where? Any takers?
Do you think we should give them like multiple choicey types of stuff?
If we're not getting single answers, you got to give them multiple choice?
Well, I mean, if it's going to be tough. Okay, so Julianne said Norway in the 1500s. Can we sell them hot or cold?
Anybody else? Anybody else or no? No, he wasn't in Norway.
Giuseppe said Holland. Ron said Norway in 17 to 1800s. I think they're going to be really shocked with this.
Okay, ready for the answer?
Anyone else?
Okay, it was actually in
Senya,
Rome.
Wait, Senya said Rome.
Who said Rome?
Charles said France in 1100. Senya said Rome. And Julianne said not Christmas as we know it, 1870s in the U.S. Oh.
Yeah.
And Giuseppe said, call me Joe. It's easier. All right. So are you ready?
Yeah.
All right.
Okay,
So
we got Rome. But anybody know what year? No.
I don't think so.
Okay. It was 336 AD in Rome. They actually celebrated Christmas. They went on a drunken binge for a couple of days. They hurt a lot of people. It wasn't really a holiday that we would know as today, but they did celebrate by giving gifts. Um, and they gave gifts to the family and everything, and they had celebrations, family celebrations, and also friends, and also public events that they actually celebrated Christmas. Okay, so that was it. So you got half one right.
So Charles says Saturnalia, and Joe said Ron Google didn't know that. What is going on here?
Yeah, Ronopedia, Yacopedia, we call them. Yeah.
Okay, so when we need a little break from questions, I'll tell you the story about Senya. Okay, so my next question is, okay. When was Jesus's birth affixed to December 25th? What year do you think it may have been? And I'll just take like a roundabout time frame. Should I do it? Should I do like a multiple choice for this one?
Sure.
Hi, Carol. You think I should?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it was, okay. I'm not going to tell you which pope it was because I think the 3rd century.
Third century.
Yeah.
Well,
I mean, that's close enough. It's 340 AD, and it was Pope Julius I. That's. I'll take that as an answer. So Senya has a half a point. Ron has a full point. You got it just in time there. The church council made it the rule. You're right. Joe says about the same time toy factories came around. Pretty close. Right about the same time Valentine's Day came about.
Valentine's Day, nice.
Yeah, you know, when everything came commercialized. Yay. All right. Do you want to go next? Or you tapped out?
I think I tapped out with that one, but
you had 2 questions?
Yeah, I mean,
listen, you better start Googling some questions.
Okay. There was a so I was looking at I was up to 3 o'clock in the morning reading this stuff, and I redid all my notes, and I forgot to download them, and it was a problem now. So, but I heard there was a Nicholas. That's who was Nicholas. Was actually the first kind of considered as Santa Claus. And I think he was in Germany. Well, he's actually buried in Italy, but he was a priest that was, you know, after he passed, they named him Saint Nicholas because, you know, with the children and stuff like that, and they made him a saint, so made Saint Nicholas. So they took Saint Nicholas, and I believe the Dutch word for Saint Nicholas is Santa Claus. So I just gave my question away and the answer.
So it says the
So,
name Santa Claus was stated to evolve from Nick's Dutch name Sinterklaas, a shortened form of Sint Nicolaas, which is translated as the Dutch name for saint.
see,
You got most of it there.
I got most of it.
You get a point.
I get a point. Hey, what do I win?
Ron said you need a secretary, by the way.
Yeah, I need somebody,
Yeah.
After I retired, I became stone-eyed a little bit,
Are you looking for a hero?
Giuseppe, don't open your mouth.
All right. So this one is it's going to go with my last question a little bit. Before it was marked on the calendar as December 25th, 3 different dates were thought of as Jesus's birthday. I'm going to give the answers to this. It could have been January 6th, March 29th, or some date in June. March 15th, where did you get that from? Ron's making up his own answers now. Okay.
Okay.
You don't need to, you're doing fine by yourself, says Joe. Thank you, Charles. AD 270 bought and freed slaves. Ron said March 15th. That wasn't even an answer. I think Joe says January 6th. Julian says June. Ron says June 12th. Andy says Ron was there.
Ron was there.
Ron says it is variable.
He was one of the guys bearing gifts for Jesus.
Ides of March. Carol says January 6th. Okay, anyone else? Nobody?
No, nobody.
My comments went away. I thought I lost them for good.
Yeah, I just found the comments, so.
It only took you 9 shows. This is our 9th show, by the way.
Is it?
It is.
I've been on for 9 times already, or?
No, you came in at like 5. Maybe.
Okay.
January 6th is known as Little Christmas. I think that is what it's called, to be honest with you. Okay, so.
Well, it's also, isn't January 6th like
Russian Christmas?
What do you call it? Three Kings Day?
3 Kings
Day. I
Day,
think January 6th or January 8th. It's also their Feast of the Epiphany, January 6th.
There's something else too, and you'll hear about it.
That leads to 12 days of Christmas, from the 25th to the 6th. 12 days of Christmas.
I think it's considered to be like, they call it Russian Christmas or Orthodox Christmas or something, but there is something else, and we're going to hear about it.
Uh-oh.
Venus, you have an answer for us? You want to kick in here?
What, slaying lambs?
No, that's what the Romans did. They slayed everybody. All right. Oh, happy solstice. That's right. We're a day late, but Venus, if you didn't hear the answer, I'm going to read it back again, just in case you want to kick in. Before December 25th was used as Jesus's birthday. I can't say that word today. I don't know why. Jesus's birthday. The dates of January 6th, March 29th, or June something were used. I don't know if you need to be coherent. You could just pick a date. I mean, Ron even gave a totally different date at one point. So if there's anyone else, or if Well, we all know what January 7th is, Ron and Loki's event. You just need to be awake. The other events point to spring. Nobody? Okay, here's the answer. June something is likely since the nativity was during a census. I think that's really interesting. Used as what? The solstice marker or Jesus's actual birthday? He's a Pisces, so February or March. How do you know that Jesus was a Pisces?
Well, wasn't Jesus born before horoscopes were even discovered?
Wasn't that other sign still involved? Jesus told you? Did he call you on the phone? He called you on your cell phone, like the song? Ron told her. That's what it was. I think we need to start having someone turn water into wine right now.
That'd be good.
That would be
I got
awesome.
a whole bottle of water right now. Turn this into wine, please.
Please do.
I like a nice red.
And pass it around. It was totes, Ron. I agree. All right. So they're saying that it was June because there was a census happening, and that's why they know that. Horoscopes guided the wise men. They were astrologers called magi. That's true. But they're saying that it took the magi like 10 months or something to get to him.
But didn't they follow one star, the North Star?
Right.
I know the North Star is like, what's the North Star? Wasn't that part of the, what do you call it? The, oh shit, I forgot the name. It's one of the zodiacs. Yeah, that, you know, I guess so, because I know in ancient Egypt, like this, the shape of the pyramids and all that stuff. Well, that's way after Jesus. So
we're going like way into a different topic. Like we've gone 3 topics in, but astrology's been around for a long, long time. I mean, astrology was the first religion. Was it really?
But didn't the ancient Greeks, you know, too? The ancient Greeks, they're the ones that really discovered most of that with the stars and everything. They're the first ones to really look at the stars.
I know that John Dee and his buddy,
the Little Dipper, North Star,
Edward Kelly, they were like deciphering code, and they were doing astrology and astronomy, and like from what I've researched, the Romans tried to ban it. It had to be done in secret. That's true.
Mm-hmm.
And like John Dee and Edward Kelly, they worked for Queen Elizabeth, and they were her. And look at like Nostradamus and stuff. That's going way back. So we don't even know how far back.
I mean, we're not talking about AD with them, you know?
No, I mean, it went back that far. So how much further did it go back? And the Mayans and the Incans, if you look at pyramids, they have 365 blocks for each day of the year. They had their own special calendars, and they had the gateways to their cities. There was a spot that when the sun hit a certain place that it would like shine through. So, I mean, okay, this is Joe. He changed apps. Hi, Joe. It's nice to see your face. I know I've never met you, but it's nice to meet you now. I think that there's so much that we like really don't know. The Greeks were plagiarists.
Like I said, with the ancient Greek, the pyramids, one day they shaped the way if you look from this sky down, they're like the shape of them is like the stars, the shape of the stars Leo.
Yeah.
You know, and there's also a theory that that the head of the Sphinx was actually a head of a lion, and then they took it down because one of the pharaohs wanted to put his face up there because he wanted to show that he's all powerful.
Yep.
Okay, because the actual head of the Sphinx is a different date than the actual body. It's a much the body of the lion is much older than the head of the Sphinx. So they believe that. So, because I the only reason I remember that because I'm a Leo.
I have you. Ron said Jesus did things he told us not to do, like raising the dead. Yeah, I mean, there's so much that we could do. Maybe we should have something like that as a discussion one day, like things that happened in the Bible that maybe don't fit the biblical tradition, like things that happened in the Bible that maybe don't fit the biblical sense. Because this is like religion also goes along with paranormal stuff, right? It's all based on religion.
A lot of stuff, yeah. Because I mean, that's the issue I always had when a lot of the when I was going to Catholic school and all that stuff, and they kept on thinking I was nuts and everything, and I'm like, the Catholic religion kind of, if you read the Bible, it deals with a lot of spirits, and even when you say a prayer, in the name of Father, Son, Holy Spirit, or Holy Ghost. So it's actually in the prayer itself. So, I'm not trying to knock anybody's beliefs, but I went through a lot as going to Catholic school and seeing things, spirits and stuff, as a kid. So, I mean, it's a catch-22. It's like you want to, you go through the Bible, and the Bible has, what it has, and then you have what do you call it? What we're doing, and the Bible, and they don't believe what we're doing. A lot of them don't. I know some priests that have no problem with it, but it's so different what we're doing and what they want us to believe. And seeing spirits doesn't mean we're searching for devils and stuff like that too. Right.
I think I think organized religion, they took us in a totally different direction when they tried to teach us those things, because I don't necessarily think that everything was supposed to be cut and dry. We'll have to have a whole, I think this would be an interesting topic, especially when we have people like, Charles and Ron and Joe and the people who like to talk about religious things. I think this would be a great discussion some night. But let's get back to the fun stuff because I think this is going to go south and we're going to lose a lot of people.
Well, yeah, I know we're going to go get too religious, and then it's going to be like,
But I think it could be very religious-y, and it could be a really fun topic for the right people, because there is so much that we can get into. So getting back to January 6th.
I just want to show my shirt off.
Did that say badass? Badass ghost hunter? I love it. The business churches don't like competition. You're right. They don't like competition. They don't like people to question things. And Ron said, I think it is all spiritual activity. True.
Yeah, it probably is. Like, I'm not trying to change what we're saying, what we're talking about, but if you do find ghosts and spirits and all that stuff in real time now, that might change some of the stuff that's in the Bible. Now we got spirits. Look, we got our stuff. So we're proving, and they just don't want, like they said, it's competition, and they don't want to, acknowledge what we're doing. So, and I'm not looking for devils like everybody, they all think, or demons and stuff. I'm just looking for lost souls that needs help.
Right. Like crossing over, or people to get advice. I'm with you, Joe. As long as no one tries to convert me, I'm game for discussion. I can't stand the pushy, like, before you leave here today, you're going to be a Christian, or before you leave here today, you're going to be a Catholic, or I like having like a really good, intelligent discussion with people, as long as everyone stays in their lane. I don't understand why that's so difficult. Just to have an intelligent discussion and give your input on something. Why is that so difficult?
Mm-hmm.
All right, January 6th. Like I said, this was going to come back around. I think this is a really cool question. So there's two questions with this. So there's someone by the name of Frau Perchta, and I don't know how I'm going to ask this question. Maybe I'll tell the first part and then I'll ask the second part. So Frau Perchta obviously is German. She's known as a Christmas witch. I love witches. She has a beaked nose, which is iron. She's dressed in rags. She walks with a cane and carries a very long knife.
Knife.
Wow, lady, you know.
Well, I mean, it sounds like some of the nuns I had in grammar school.
So she gives us witches a bad name, I guess.
Yeah, well, they didn't carry knives; they carried rulers. You know,
Yeah.
yardsticks in grammar school.
So she also goes by Bertha, which has always been a horrible name, I think. She likes to have the women keep their house in order. It's very important to her. And women are supposed to spin flax. It's supposed to be done by January 6th. So children are also supposed to keep their rooms clean. And January 6th is called, after her, Frau Perchta, is called Perchtentag. January 6th. If they don't spin their flax or clean their rooms and have it finished by January 6th, what happens to them? Do you think I should give some answers?
Well, give them a chance to see if they got it.
Okay.
You know,
if somebody
if they don't,
because this is a tough one. If someone doesn't get it, I will give you multiple choices.
A, or B, or C, or D. None of the above.
So Joe said, I don't know if we should involve Ron in those discussions. He's very convincing. We all might become direct radio disciples. Venus says, I secretly judge women that don't cook and clean for themselves. I agree. I have 2 of his books, so I'm on the way. Venus, I really actually judge women and men that don't cook and clean. Maybe not so secretly.
I love cooking, so.
I love to cook too. They don't get to dance at the maypole in spring. So if they don't spin their flax or clean their room January 6th, they don't get to dance around the maypole. Okay. Anyone?
Grumpus?
Grumpus.
Is that Krampus?
Krampus. They get visited by Grumpus.
Krampus. They get visited by Grumpus.
I only judge men that can't keep it up. Not really good for much else, are they? Not particularly. All right, so they get visited. Yes. Yes, they are good for something. Yes, Grumpus. Like the Grinch also. There's so much going on. We're mixing.
I like the Grinch also.
The Grinch.
The Grinch.
Todd calls me Mrs. Grinch. I like Halloween.
Bah humbug. Bah humbug.
Krampus takes bad kids and eat them. Senya says she would cut them open. Venus says she was kidding. Ha ha.
Cut them open. Okay. I don't think anybody gonna get it or
Seekers Chronicles. Look at what I caught live.
Seekers Chronicles. Lynn. Hey, Lynn.
Hi, Lynn. Where is Ufi?
Yeah, Lynn Ludwig. That's my partner with the Seekers Chronicles. So she's the one I do documents with.
We need more here on YouTube. Yes, Venus, I was thinking I should keep my mouth shut. Charles, you can always speak on your own behalf. Anthony will come on January 6th and sing Dominic the Donkey. Ee-aw, ee-aw.
We don't do it at the same time. Oh, hey.
Any more
What's
answers?
wrong with Dominic?
That kind of was a multiple choice because everybody gave kind of different answers. So, you ready for the answer?
Yeah, the roll.
Drum roll, please. She would use her long knife to disembowel the women and children.
Man.
Gross, right? But it's so cool.
Because they don't clean their bedroom. Hey, clean your bedroom. No! They cut them in half. It's like,
with my new Ducks Unlimited.
Yeah. Oh, man.
Sanya was close, so I'm giving her a point. She's got a point and a half. Ron's got a point. Charles, you blew my mind.
Sounds like my ex. Yeah, I understand that one, Joe.
Did she walk around with a knife in her hand all day long? I think that sounds like
my ex, she might have.
Okay, so where are we at here?
Wow.
Mr.
So,
Anthony,
Joe, make sure you clean your room. I mean, your ex might come over and disavow you. Man.
I'm sorry to hear that.
That's strict.
That's kind of wicked. I mean,
but then who cleans the room? Who cleans the room after she disavows them?
Well, I think that's kind of a moot point from there.
You know what I mean? She disavows them. Everything falls on the floor. Who's cleaning that now? What's going on?
Well, who's going to clean up the bowels?
Yeah. Does that make sense?
All right.
I cut you in half. I cut you everything off. What the hell? What the hell? Clean your room. No. You know how many kids nowadays would be chopped in half,
Every single one of them.
Yeah.
Joe said that the cleaning lady was there yesterday, so he's good. And Venus said nobody left to dirty it up. She only got to clean it once from there. Okay.
I mean, I would have been chopped in half as a kid. They would have came in. I would have been one of those victims because as a kid, I didn't do shit.
My room had to be spotless. My bed had to be made every single day. It was tough.
My mother gave up on me. She said, you got to live like this. I'm like what? I'm comfortable. Hey.
Look at you. You're wearing a shirt that says badass ghost hunter.
Yeah. Hey.
Anya.
I'm comfortable. Hey, leave my stuff alone. But one thing I never did is wear the same clothes over. I know people will do that. Just one thing I can't do. You got change.
Do you know, here's a weird tip. Like, this is a thing that I read, and this is coming from the designers of this. You are not supposed to wash your jeans until probably, I think, was it 5 washes or something like that? Like, you're supposed to wear your jeans multiple times.
Okay.
Charles says, I'm waiting for a ride on Vacuum or Rosie the Robot. Are you looking for a ride on Rosie the Robot?
What kind of ride? Rosie the Robot. Or Rosie the plastic doll.
Remember I said tonight is not a family night, so we can say whatever we want here. Venus says, my mom didn't care because I did it on my own. I told my kids, listen, it's your room, but shut the damn door. You're the one that has to live with it. I knew when a girl was coming over because my son would be cleaning like a maniac. He'd have his laundry done. The room would be spotless. He'd be spraying Febreze like a maniac. Always knew. I'm like, oh, girl's on her way over here. I see how it goes. let's see, where are we at? I don't know how to ask this question, so I'll ask a different one. Okay, this is in Guatemala. The people of Guatemala do a full house cleanse. They collect all the dirt into one pile. They make this particular thing into a statue, and they put it on top of the pile, and then they burn it. What do they make into a statue? Answers?
They would burn it and made it into a statue.
You're not playing, mister. You're my co-host.
I still don't even know the answers. I should be able. I was like,
well, you were supposed to have questions, so let's just go there.
I did. I had a question.
One. You were supposed to have a list. Senya says the devil. Anyone else? Anthony's back hair. Really?
What about my back hair?
He said that's what they build into a statue.
Well, my back hair is not that. Yeah, I guess they could if I shaved it.
Last
make cousin out of me.
Last week's El Presidente. Ron says they have that on the West Coast. They have what on the West Coast? And what West Coast?
They're building something out of. They're building statues over there. I don't know.
Statues of what?
I don't know.
So we have the devil, Anthony's back hair, last week's El Presidente.
Bring Burning Man. Oregon. Okay, I see what he's saying.
Oh.
The Burning Man thing, yeah.
Okay. Anyone? Where did Julie go?
I guess she had enough.
She was here for the very first time, and we scared the shit out of her.
She goes, oh, nothing here paranormal.
He's out. No fair. Ron is getting his answers from the other side. That's cheating. Oh, there she is. Julie, what happened? You don't want to play?
Nobody go anywhere because second half we got Ron Yacovetti and Lourdes Gonzalez, and we're gonna have a good time with them too because they're fun people to be around, and maybe they'll start talking about the ITC. We hear
what his answers would be right now.
You're gonna hear Ron. What do you call him? The what do you call it? The Ronopedia or Yacopedia.
He would know all the answers, or they would be freaking hysterical.
Yeah, he probably would. The only one that would.
We didn't have a crazy question. We had what the hell was it? Oh, that was like Mother Krampus. That's what they actually call Frau Perchta. And there's a movie coming out about her. Or it's out, or I think it's out. It might be on Netflix. It's Frau Perchta, and she disembowels children and women who don't clean.
That's great. I got to watch that.
Julie, we're glad that you're with us. You don't have to necessarily play, but we're so happy that you're watching, and I hope you're having fun, because we are.
Is Seeker's Chronicles still on?
Lynn, are you still with us? Okay, so wait, Lynn. we have answers. Anyone else before we give the answer? No? Okay, I'm going for it. The answer is the devil.
The devil. So somebody won, didn't they?
Enya, she's on fire tonight. She's got 2.5 points. Ron has 1. People, get with it. We're giving out prizes. So
Yeah, giving out disavow people.
now, because it's 6:45, I wanted to tell you guys a story about something that happened. Senya, I actually performed her husband's brother's wedding. Was it last summer? They liked the wedding so much that they asked me to perform their wedding, and they're like family to me now. So I performed their wedding. I met, how are they building a devil? It could be clay. I don't know what they use, but they're building one. So I performed their wedding. I met her parents, and they became good friends of mine also. They were having activity in their house, in their apartment. And their daughters are little, and they were freaked out. And I always assist people who have little kids, especially. And Todd and I went to their house once before, and we cleansed the house, and everything had gone away. So while we were down there, we did some shopping because it's about an hour drive. So this time, we decided that because they were having issues, that we would also, Greg O'Brien, I may or may not be in a bathtub filled with milk. Well, that's an interesting conversation to start.
Okay, better milk than blood.
I was going to say that does get rid of hot sauce. So Senya reached out again, and she told me that she was having issues again. She heard hissing. Her name was being whispered. Her kids were upset. She was getting a little bit freaked out because of the hissing mostly. But there was, I don't know, we didn't know the background of the property, whatever. So I told her I'd be right down. We decided to do some shopping down that way, 2 birds, 1 stone kind of thing. So we get down there, and her husband, Jello is better. We get down there, and she had a spirit box, and we hooked it up to a speaker. We put it in the hallway between the 2 rooms where there was like the most activity. So her husband was at work. Her mom was there. I was using dowsing rods at first just to kind of get a perspective of things and like feel things out. And I started asking some questions, and I asked how many spirits were in the house. And we heard 3. And I asked if there were 2 men, 1 female, and it said no. So it was 2 females, 1 male. And I asked if they were related to Senya, and a woman's voice popped up, and it said, maybe. And I was like, maybe? That's an odd answer. So we thought, maybe it's because they're not sure if they're related to her, or maybe there's like a strange relationship, or like through the family tree, they kind of like maybe there was like an affair or something crazy happened or whatever. So I start using the dowsing rods again, and we're asking questions about who these people could be. So this male voice keeps answering questions, and it's really difficult for me to hear with the static because I have something called dysautonomia. So like I'm kind of trying to stand back. Her mom's in the children's room, and Senya's kind of sitting in the hallway a little bit further away from the box. So I'm trying to like really pay attention, and I have constant ringing in my ears. And this man's voice is so super clear. Every time we'd ask a question, he would answer. And he said his name was Harry. Well, that's her husband's grandfather's name. So he's there like protecting them and wants to be around them all the time. So she tells me that the kids are constantly talking to and playing with someone. So it's got to be him. But someone was kind of acting like a child. So I'm thinking, okay, so maybe he's acting like a kid so he doesn't scare them. So then another voice comes in and it's female, and that was the one that said maybe. So I said, who's Carol? And she goes, well, that's Alex's mom. And I said, and I'm like, well, she's not deceased, right? And she goes, no. So it turns out that the other female, the first female, is Harry's mom. So his great grandmother is in the house also, grandma. Then this other female voice is being like kind of manipulative. And Sonia had told me that the blinds were ripped off the window and kind of like tossed across the room. And I said, I don't feel like there's anything demonic or negative or anything you need to be afraid of or, anything like that. But I think it's just that this spirit came to you because you all have abilities. All of them do. I don't think they realize how strong it is or how to use it yet. But I think that this spirit is just getting so frenzied because it's stuck there that it's trying to get your attention. And all of a sudden I looked at Sonia and I go, I'm hearing the name April. And she goes, really? I don't know an April. And I said, you don't have to. I think, hi, Katie.
Hey, Katie.
Happy holidays. Glad you're listening. So I'm like, let's try something. And it was kind of like Jason Haas's daughter and her boyfriend in a way. So I picked up my dowsing rods and I said, if your name begins with the letter A, please cross the rods. And they were like, immediately. Hi, Taylor. Thanks for listening and watching. And I go, I don't want to waste time. I want to see if this is going to work. If your second letter of your name is the letter P, please cross the rods. And it went, and right there, the two of us are like, oh my God, this is crazy. Spelled out the name April. And I'm like, April, if you're looking for help to cross over and you're stuck, please let me know. The rod's crossed. So I told Sonia I'm going to help her to learn how to do that. So I closed my eyes and I said, if you can picture a bright tunnel with a really bright light at the end of it, I'm going to hold your hand and I'm going to walk you to the end. Your family's going to be waiting on the other end. No matter what you've done in this lifetime, on that other side, they're waiting for you with love. There's no hate. There's no negativity. There's no regret. There's no remorse. There's no guilt. There's no shame. There's no any of that. If you choose to go a different route, picture a blue door with a brass knob, open that door, and they're on the other side there. So I walked her to the end of the tunnel, and I watched her wave to me, and then I just opened my eyes. And I said, Harry, can you tell me if April crossed over? And we both heard, I don't know. Like, pure as can be, I don't know. And we both looked at each other and were like, oh God. And I said, how many spirits are in the house now? And he goes, 2. And we were both like, yes, all right. Like high-fiving each other. And everything seemed so different after that. It was just...
It's wild. That's wild.
So peaceful and calm after that.
That's some experience after they cross over.
Yeah.
It's like weird because you go in there, it feels heavy. All of a sudden after that, it's like, whoo, it's like, wow. It's like a weight off your chest.
Yeah, it wasn't, when I walked in, it wasn't heavy to me. My heart was pounding so fast, like palpitations.
Mm-hmm.
And Senya was just like, I'm not afraid. It's just that, like, the hissing. And I said, here's the thing. Like, if you talk to someone who's from Spain or from Mexico, when you get a text message or an email from them, it's not ha ha ha, it's ja ja ja. And I said, so if it's something like that, instead of us going like, maybe it was, so it's not hissing, it's just a sigh. Like, we might be
Mm-hmm.
hearing it differently from the other side. So I think when people think that there's a demon in my house, it's super, super rare to have a demonic haunting, or like what
Mm-hmm.
Chris DeCesare went through. It's more like the longer they spend here stuck and not crossed over, the more ornery and pissed off and irritated and agitated, and like they just want to get the hell out of here. They don't want to be stuck here with us, especially if they don't know us. But it doesn't have to be that they died in that house. It doesn't have to be that they died on that property. It doesn't have to be that they are an attachment to us. They could have they could have passed away 2 blocks away, 2 miles away. But if you have
Mm-hmm.
4 people in a home, like a husband, a wife, and 2 kids, and they all have abilities, you're like 4 freaking beacons of light drawing those people in. All they want to do is get a message out or get help or say, hey,
Mm-hmm.
freaking cross me over already. I've been here like 60 years. It doesn't matter. But this poor girl committed suicide, and she was dealing with not a demon, but her demons. And she was too
Mm-hmm.
afraid to reach out to her family to pull her over. She needed to be crossed because she didn't know how to do it herself. So she thought,
Mm-hmm.
okay, here's 4 people who have these amazing abilities, yet they don't know how strong they are. And they haven't, 2 of them are babies, and 2 of them are drawn to this, but they haven't had the education to know how to do this. Some of them just
Mm-hmm.
know automatically how to talk to spirits, but not enough people know how to help pass people over.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I didn't know how to do that. I had to figure that out myself. I had no one as a mentor to help me with this stuff. I had to figure things out all on my own. And if anyone out there does have abilities, but they're not sure how to do something, I think I'm really going to start teaching classes because it's scary. It's really, really scary. My
Mm-hmm.
son has abilities, and he's not sure like what to do with certain things, and his are slightly different than mine. I At first I was only able to feel spirits, and then I was able to hear them. Then I was able to see them. Then I was able to like have all of my senses involved completely. My son,
Mm-hmm.
I don't I
But
don't
he, at
envy
least he
him at
has
all.
somebody. At least he has somebody. If he needs a question to talk to, he has somebody.
Yeah,
You
but the
know.
thing is, I don't envy him. He sees demons. Like, that's his, I don't even want to call it a gift. That's his curse. He sees demons, which, I mean, that's his way of helping people who have a demonic or an attachment or like a, possession type of thing. He's supposed to help people get rid of those things. That's something no one ever wants to go through. And just to say to someone, I see demons. Like, can you imagine trying to tell someone that? He didn't even want to admit to
Mm-hmm.
it at first. Even if it's a
Yeah.
family member, it sucks.
So the whole thing is with demons, and I mean, seeing demons. It's you know everything I've done all the years, seeing stuff, and I didn't know. But I mean, it's more of a negative energy than a demon most of the time. You
Yeah,
know, unless you're going to be playing with Ouija boards and or other stuff that you don't understand and you shouldn't be doing.
yeah,
Then you bring in the demons. But most of the time when you see things, it might be a negative energy, or it might just be a regular energy, somebody that's there that wants to be heard. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes when you do investigations and you get scratched, they're not scratching you to hurt you. They're scratching you to get your attention.
Right.
You know, and let you know that they're there.
Yeah.
You know, so it's not always negative, or they just be. I mean, you can have a good spirit, and you come in and you know you have all these people coming in, and there's not everybody out there is a good investigator. They sometimes they bring things to the house. They make a spirit that's not a really, it's just a playful and just hides keys and stuff like that. They make them mad, and then the spirit becomes more of a negative until the spirit understands what's going on, and then you know what I mean. And how many
like hiding keys and stuff, that may even be like an elemental being. It could be like a water sprite, or it could be a gnome, or it could be like something else that.
Yeah, but those are usually outdoors. They're not usually inside. Those are usually outdoor spirits.
Usually, but they do.
They're the forest or outdoors. I'm talking about spirits in homes and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When you come across those, the negative ones are not always negative. And how many times when people crossed over, they actually went there and they crossed the spirit over, and then the activity gets really bad because the spirit that they crossed over was the spirit that was protecting that location. And now there's another spirit that's a bad, negative spirit that comes in and really makes things bad. So when you cross over spirits, you also got to watch out for that too.
Yeah, I've never come across. The thing is, if it's a spirit that crosses over, any spirit that's on the other side, they can come back to visit. So if they're protecting something, they're like always more than welcome to, because I truly believe this. I think that spirits that we see, it's kind of like I'm here and then I'm here. So it's like almost like another dimension. So if they're that close, they can come back and forth at any time.
And that's we got into plenty of discussions with dimensions, a different dimension for a different, because sometimes there's two locations and they're saying, oh, these locations are haunted by the same ghost.
Right.
It could be overseas, London, and it could be in New York. And if the person owned both places, they're haunting it. Yeah, maybe there's a slip between time that spirits could go through. It's like a black hole in space. Maybe they could go through that time to go from place to place and be in both locations. Pretty much at the same time.
Taylor said, since my nana passed, my parents have a hutch with my sister's urn in it. So they took the urn out thinking she wanted to come out because the door to the hutch has been open multiple times. And the key has to be flipped over to get the door open. They lock it and pull on the door to make sure it's locked and it's still open. I was there yesterday and I said, did you guys open that? And no one opened it. So it even happened when I was there. I really think when it comes to something like that, that's just an indication, not that she wants out, but she's telling you, hey, I'm here and I'm giving you a sign. Don't you think?
I believe it's probably something like that too. I don't, maybe it's not showing you that once out, and maybe it is. But then again, maybe it is trying to give you a sign that they want out too.
Yeah.
And in that case, if they want out that bad and they're opening doors, do one of the stage cleanings. Do a cleaning of the house. You start from the back of the house and you just go to your front door, open your door, and the spirit leaves if it wants to leave. Because if a spirit really wants to go over, most likely it can. Just with a little help. Now, not all spirits want to go over because not all spirits, like I had a case in the Shanley Hotel. All right. We're doing a spirit box, and there's a there's a Joe. He was actually he killed people for the mob. That was his profession, and he has a room. There's a room on the third floor where there's a chair. He's supposed to be in the chair and everything. So we went to that room, and a couple of us with a spirit box, and we're like, "Okay, Joe, why are you still here? why? You can't go? Why can't you go? And the words heaven came up. And so we're like, well, you afraid you can't get to heaven? And he's like, yeah. So I feel that some spirits want to stay because they were so bad in real life, in when
They
they were
don't want
alive.
to do anything of it.
And they're afraid that if they do cross over, they're going to hell,
Yeah.
you know? So, I mean, that's the whole thing too. It's like spirits don't want to go because they're afraid to go to the next place, you know? Like I said, all the stuff I say theories because nothing is proven until we actually get to the other side, and then wow, you get proven right or wrong. But some of the spirits like that, he didn't want to leave because of, he's afraid that if he does cross over, he's going to a bad place,
Right.
which maybe it will happen. That does happen, and then you have people, the other spirits that don't want to leave because, which I feel, and this will probably be me. Don't want to leave because they pass over, but they got family here that they love and they adored. So they want to stick around and see what happens and, stay with the family.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you cross over, the people that cross over spend as much time here as they do on the other side. Because I've asked.
Yeah, but once they cross over, they're not as powerful if they stay here.
I don't think that that's necessarily the case because I've asked those who've crossed over those questions. They spend just as much time here because they miss us.
I mean, the spirits that come back usually come back because, and this is, I notice this a lot of times too with people when I go to people's house stuff. If they're going through a bad time and they're very stressed or whatever, and they're just going through a bad time, they got nobody, nothing to, relieve their stress. They're just stressed out because of bills, whatever. And they start dreaming about maybe their mother or their grandfather or somebody, and they come back and they actually talk, you know what I mean? And I feel that the spirits come back when we need them, not just to come back for a visit, when we need them the most.
Right.
That's what I feel when they come back when we need them the most. If, because I noticed with me too, I with my mom, and since I have the ability to see, I notice when she comes in the room, and there's also smells like, my father's a big smoker, and all of a sudden, nobody smokes in my house. I live in a cooperative. Okay, I'm on the 5th floor. All right, and there's a smoke-free environment. It's not. I mean, even if somebody smokes in hall, I'm not going to smell it into my apartment.
Yeah.
And I get a really small sense of somebody smoking, like a cigarettes, And also, my wife's aunt was a big smoker too. So I'm not sure if it's my father or her, because she was very close with us also.
Yeah.
So I feel that they come back when we need them the most. Not just for a visit, just for when we need them to talk or whatever we got to do.
Right.
So
Julianne said some of us do have to teach ourselves. I agree. I think that starts a lot of ways for lots of people. Venus said you should. Lots of freakouts lead to the darker side for a bit. True. Julianne said, as you opened up your senses, were you healing yourself as well in the process? Yes, I learned Reiki to heal myself because I was very sick at the time, and I also heal other people with Reiki. I'm a Reiki practitioner. I'm studying to have my master and teacher. So the more you do Reiki on other people, the better you feel and you get well. Anthony looks festive, says Maria Wilson. Thank you, Maria. I'm glad you feel that way. He is looking very festive. Charles says, hi, Maria. Venus says, I can't look. I can't look. I might cause a seizure. Merry Christmas, Venus. Maria says, hey, Charles. Hey, Andy. Oh yeah, I disagree. Justin says, on what? Let's see. Who else is here? We missed a bunch of stuff here.
Yeah, I know. I know as I talk, I see a lot of things going by.
I know we missed a lot.
Sorry about that, guys.
We talk a lot.
Yeah.
How do you cross the spirit? I walk them through a lit tunnel with a bright light at the end, and I walk with them by holding their hand, and then I let them go to light at the end, and I just let them go through, and I tell them that their families are waiting for them, and there is no guilt, shame, whatever. We do have hiders here, I believe. There is no guilt, shame, anger, hostility, whatever on the other side, and their family's waiting for them, and they do love them. And I think I only had one person that it was really tough to cross them over, and then I kind of like in my mind built another thing for them to cross through. It was a blue door with a brass knob. They just didn't like the idea of crossing through a tunnel, and they crossed for me. So that's how I did it. Taylor said, my sister was a stillborn. She would be 21 this year and just recently started happening. Could she just be saying she wants to stay in the current house? I don't think that that's the case. I do think that it's whomever is in the urn. Everybody else is just kind of having a free-for-all talking to each other. We do have our guests here, though, so we're going to let them in. Yes!
No.
How are you?
Good.
What's
How are
up,
you?
guys?
How
Anthony.
are you?
What's up?
What up? What up?
Simonelli Claus.
Yeah,
Look
yeah.
at
Good. No.
Hey. Okay, I'm all ready.
it.
Why are
What's
you in
up, guys?
Notice
What's happening?
he sounds
getting
so
feedback.
nice. Yeah, there's lots of feedback.
But you see the shirt too?
Ah.
Yeah, that's good. I know where that came from.
Yay!
Santa.
Is that a
So what's up, guys?
Oh, that's right. Forgot. What up? Nothing much.
What up?
Yep. I got
We
my
got-
little Christmas hat on. This is a Christmas. This is my version of a Christmas hat.
That's your Christmas hat.
Yeah.
Your hair's up in the air. Hey, Ron, how come you didn't do that with your hair?
You just turned sideways. It's not her hair.
Did you
This is
lose
a little
me?
puff on it. That's a little puff on the hat. That's not her
Yeah,
hair.
that's not my hair, bro.
See, here's her hair.
My hair.
I like that.
What happened
Why did you
here?
get that?
Why are you sideways, Anthony?
Oh my
Yeah.
God. Every
Fix your
show.
clothes. Every show.
Does it?
Every show you either can't hear him, he's in and out, his internet's crazy, he's in his car, there's always something. Oh, Joe Caradonna wants to know if you're on a booster seat, Ron.
Ah,
He forgot to put it on.
yeah.
We lost Simonelli. Where the hell did he go?
Yeah, I feel like we should do the same.
Which way
Yeah,
will
well,
it be?
I know he was doing shows in his car when he would be a guest on ours because the Wi-Fi in the house was so used up. I guess there was a lot of bandwidth taken up, so he would go outside to the car. He had better connection on cell signal than he did with Wi-Fi. But clearly, he's in his house or he's furnished his car to look like his house.
Well, I have to say, one of the shows and their shows, he did it in his car and he lost power. Remember, the garage light went out in all the garages.
Yes. Yeah, he was like, what the hell just happened? I'm like, oh God, here we go. Like it's always something. One of the shows that we had, something happened where he lost cell service. He was in and out. Then we lost our guest. It was like a shit show.
That happens to everybody. We had Rich Michelle on our show,
Oh my God.
and there's three of us couples that host the show together. And Tony Rathman went to see how his wife Cherie was because she wasn't feeling well. So he left the show for a moment. And it was Chris and Audra and us two, and we all got booted off.
You
It was
guys.
just our,
Finally,
Yep.
yeah,
are you a co-host or are you like a no-host?
host.
He's the ghost host.
So we started off with playing a game, and
Okay, there you go.
our viewers and fans, they're I don't know. They're kind of strong.
Really?
And they're tough
Uh-oh.
questions. They're tough. They're giving away prizes too.
We shall see how we do.
What the hell? Where'd he go?
We lost him again.
Yeah, there's no question tougher than what the hell happened to Anthony. There it is.
The badass is back.
Would you stick around for a little bit?
You got me?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Where's
Jesus.
the feedback coming from?
Try to get sideways to you.
There you go.
That's how it
Yeah,
goes.
my other phone went dead. The phone went dead, so I had to go on this phone. You know,
Oh, so your device went dead.
my device went dead. You know,
That's one.
so I'm holding this thing now. Yeah, look, I'm mobile. So yeah, you know what it is? Ron kicked me off the show. Huh, Ron?
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
He kicks me off everything. So,
Poor Anthony. Yeah.
so we here.
Where's the feedback coming from?
I can't
I mean,
even get.
I'll mute us. I'll mute ours. See if it's from us.
Anthony, is it you?
I mean, I just missed the show for like 20 minutes just now. How can it be me?
It's you guys then.
Can you hear it now?
I don't know. No, you're good. No, now it's back.
Then it is us.
And the odd thing is that you're using StreamYard, which is what we do on our show, and the setup is identical to what we do on our show, and we don't get the feedback.
And I don't hear it though.
I don't hear it either.
That's really
Anthony,
That's
do you
weird.
hear it?
Yeah, I can hear it.
I don't know what to do.
And now
I don't know. The show was going so good till you guys got here. What's going on?
Happens all the
your
time.
fault. All right.
And then you
let's-
come along and all of a sudden forget about it.
Why is he frozen?
I'm frozen again.
Oh, for God's sakes. All right.
Everything was
let's-
doing good. You guys show up. I don't know about this. Yeah. Okay.
Maria's
Trying
saying
to
to me.
Where am I? I lost you guys.
Does it-
I'm even on the screen here.
Does it sound better now?
Joe said set the direct. Yeah, it's fine now.
Yeah, you sound better. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Okay.
I
All right.
lowered the
So,
microphone gain a little bit.
so you guys are playing against the viewers.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Sure.
You
Probably
got more
not.
questions? I didn't even know you have more.
Listen, shut up. You're the co-host. You don't answer the questions. He's been
I never
trying
know
to
the questions.
Maria says Anthony keeps getting abducted. Hello, everyone. And to one of our favorite couples, Ron and Lourdes. Sorry we can't join you guys. Tony just left work on his way home. I think miscommunication with the time, but I'm watching. Hi, Cherie. We miss you.
We do. Mwah.
Yeah, it's 2 hours earlier where they are. When I saw the time and I realized when it started, I was like,
Yeah.
I don't think I'll be able to make it.
Yeah.
Well,
I get them.
They're out in Arizona.
we did put 6 to 8 Eastern Standard Time. I think she just.
I'm sure.
Yeah, Katie, it's chaos here. It's always chaos. Love the antlers, though. Fix your camera angle, sir.
I
Yeah, he
can't.
has.
I got to hold it now because if I mount everything, I'm going to be knocked off again.
First,
He has an
now he's a freaking
identity.
rocket.
And
Yeah.
I know he's in an identity crisis. He can't make up his mind. Either you're a reindeer or you're Santa. Come on
He
now.
I
doesn't
don't know.
know where he's at. He's sideways.
I'm upside down. I was doing fine until you guys got here. Jeez.
Upside down.
All right. Are we ready?
Yes, ma'am.
I guess so.
So, all right, wait. We already did that question. In Sweden, since 1966, the people have been building a 40-foot straw goat. The locals, however, have been trying to destroy it. There are 3 different things that they've been doing to it. Can you name any of those three?
Fire.
No cheating.
I was gonna say fire. He took.
They built a straw goat,
A 40-foot
wood
tall
goat.
straw goat.
and a brick goat. And then 3 pigs came along. No?
I knew you were going there. I knew.
Fire. They tried to burn it down because they thought it was bad.
That was a bad joke.
Oh my God, I wouldn't even know.
All right, you say fire.
Fire, flood, and
Anyone else?
eBay.
They tried to sell it on eBay.
Sure. You come back, it's gone. There's a little receipt. Thanks for your purchase.
they try to demolish it. I don't know.
Tanya says they tried to burn it. 4 things to do with a goat. Hey, Andy. Charles. Paper, no glasses, bad, says Katie. Poison ivy, says Venus. Toilet paper, says Katie. Holy crap, glad we're not on. Tough question.
That is a tough question.
Fire.
Anyone else?
That's the only thing I could come up with. But it was 3 ways they tried to.
There are 3
Right?
ways. Yes. Joe says they've been trying to milk it. Well, that wouldn't destroy it. I don't think so. Gert radio.
Which is why Joe's not allowed to go to the zoo anymore. Isn't it?
Bomb it, fire.
Hey, that's not a female. That's a male. What are you trying to do, milk?
Milk the goat. Okay. So Gert sounds like an STD. It does. All right. So you guys are right. And so is Senya. However, burning it is one of them.
I hear you echoing.
What did you say?
You're echoing.
I know. Burn it, hit it with cars, and they once tried to steal it with a helicopter.
Okay.
Hit it with cars.
Hit it with cars.
How do you miss?
Yeah, you don't want to hit with your car, Ron. It take what, a year and a half to get parts.
Yeah, well, don't hit it with a car during a pandemic, that's for sure.
I know I'm echoing it. I don't know why. I was fine before.
I'm telling you, Ron did it.
I think it's us.
Well, I
Yeah.
lowered the volume on the speaker and then I lowered the gain on the microphone and it went away.
Am I better
Do
now?
we even need the microphone? Do
No.
we even need the microphone?
Yeah, how are they
More
going to hear
chaos.
us?
Always
Do you
chaos.
know that? Yeah.
They're feeding it to real goats. Okay. So
I bet it's still going to do it.
Yeah.
in Wales, not in the whale like it's in the ocean. Hi, Carol. I'm gonna spell this. It's MARILWYD. I don't speak Welsh. So that's what this thing is called. It's a parade. People get inside of something that's made with a sheet, ribbons, and it's topped with this. I'm trying to figure out how to word this question. Something that belongs to a horse.
A harness? A jockey?
Okay. Anyone else?
A horseshoe?
Hey. Hey.
Hey. Okay, a saddle. A.
I'm thinking it's a horseshoe.
Radish?
And it's radish. And it's white and it's put. What was the question again?
Okay. So
I don't know what the question was.
They have a pole with a sheet, and has ribbons on it, and it's topped with something that belongs to a horse.
I would say a horseshoe.
Yeah. Or the hair from the mane or something.
Yeah.
Tail.
Katie says shoe. Senya says saddle. You guys said hay.
This is the horse's head.
Yeah. Hey, Anthony Simonelli is on the show. So it was the horse's head, and then the pole and the sheet and the ribbon. Oh, you wake up in bed the next morning and it's next to you.
The horse's ass.
That's it.
The horse.
Like the Godfather.
Sorry, go ahead.
Maria said she's going to get herb, and maybe the echo will go away. Is it bad? It is. Julianne said bit, it's bit.
The speaker from here.
We can't.
I don't know how to fix it, guys. It was not here before. I don't know what's going on.
I'm sure it's something to do with unless, and I don't know if it would matter if one of you guys has the automatically adjust mic volume thing checked off on StreamYard. Ours is unchecked. We do this show every week, the same setup, but it doesn't do that. So I'm wondering if it's not our settings, but just our being here. I don't know.
Being here.
Assless chaps. We did say this was not a family friendly event. So use your Reiki and clear the lines.
Should we go off and go? Maybe
you can try.
We can try to go off and go back on if you want.
You're going to be like me now. Get kicked off and back on.
Back.
Yeah, Katie's on tonight.
Hey, KK.
She's the one that said assless chops. Look at that. Yep. That's why we hang out with those people.
Assless chaps.
I don't know. You want to try to do that, and then
that's next week. Next week.
Yeah, let's try to do that. Let's see.
Pop out,
pop in, pop out, and pop in.
Pop out, pop in.
Pop out.
Yeah.
Hey,
but we won't be gone for long.
You're not looking up the answer, correct? You're looking up the answer.
What happened? They come on, I get knocked off.
I don't know what else.
You got feedback.
We have no problem right now.
I can hear you.
Katie says you guys are fine. I don't have glasses on. Katie, I can hear you perfectly fine right now. And now too.
Yeah, you still don't put your glasses on, so you will be fine. Okay, Katie? Keep your glasses off.
Sounds better now. Is that Cherie?
What is she on? Because I don't see her here. Hello, Cherie.
They're looking up the answer. Okay, that is her.
No, Cherie, yeah, she probably will look up the answers. She's going to cheat.
Oh, here they are. All right, let's see. All right, are we better?
I hope
I don't
so.
hear anything now.
Yay! All right.
You know what it is? Because I'm on the top now. You're on the bottom. That's why.
Oh my God, that's the dumbest excuse ever. We're losing people already.
I know. It's like
so bad.
We're out. They're gone. This today is
Okay, so what's everybody's answer?
Well, I said horseshoe.
Okay.
Or the horse's head. But yeah. I mean, I'm hoping it's not the horse's head, so I'm going to stick with horseshoe.
Okay, here's the answer.
Ron said saddle, right?
Well, then I said horse hair.
Horse hair.
I'm going to ask this first. Are you playing as a team or are you playing separately?
Let's go as a team so we can look at each other like the people on Family Feud and go, "Are you serious?"
All right, so where are we going with? Saddle?
Your answer.
They're going to argue over answers.
All right.
They're going to argue over the answer.
It is a horse's skull.
I was close with the horse's head.
That's why I was trying to give you a hint to separate yourselves.
I'm going to say the horse's ass, but hey.
Well.
Okay, well. Look at that. That makes sense, though.
That's it.
All right. We are on to the next one.
So you want to play separate since I'm better than you? No, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Play each other.
So they go down. Actually, they go downhill from
Yeah,
here.
I know. I just jinxed myself.
Yeah, exactly.
This is a good question. I like this one. In Iceland, children who don't get clothes for Christmas are devoured by what?
Krampus.
Do you want, let me ask this. Do you want multiple choice questions from here on out, or do you want to just guess?
They're gonna be guessing no matter what.
I know.
Yeah, I know.
I don't think it's Krampus though, but
Because I don't know a lot of children in Iceland.
like I
No.
feel like I almost like I heard, but I forgot the name. I don't think it's Krampus though.
Children who don't have clothes for Christmas, don't get clothes, don't have clothes.
Is that just in Iceland, or is that in like every country?
I don't know.
Because you said something about clothes, that they were clothed.
That they don't get clothes for Christmas.
In Iceland, children who didn't get clothes, they are devoured by what?
Frostbite.
They're devoured by food.
They're eaten by food.
Those ravenous parrots.
I might want to secede from the union now.
I don't know.
They're devoured by.
This is why I didn't do.
Ron, you gonna give your own answers now? You guys gonna play against each other now?
This is why I didn't do multiple choice.
Yeah, let's do multiple choice. Let's do multiple choice.
All right. So here's what other people said. Oh shit, my comments disappeared. Oh God. Katie said devoured by Scandinavian trolls.
Katie knows.
Venus said Joe made the naughty list. Senya said she thinks she knows this one. Is it a cat? Venus said Jack Frost. Julianne said whales. Ron said snowman.
Jack Frost.
Charles said Jack Frost with icicle teeth.
Oh,
That's a movie.
Venus said frost giants. Justin said shits and giggles, ask Maria, I'm evil. Julianne said dragons. Katie said, is Iceland a Scandinavian country? I am old and forgetful. Like, technically. I don't think, is Iceland considered Scandinavian?
I don't think so.
They're kind of like off on their own.
Yeah, it's between North America and those, Scandinavian stuff.
So Lourdes is saying ravenous carrots.
How about chupacabra?
Better.
Chupacabra.
Okay, I'm curious now. What are they devoured by?
It's actually a Yule cat.
Oh, somebody was right then in the chat.
Yeah, Katie.
Senya and Katie said cats will eat humans if necessary, FYI. That's actually very freaky. So will dogs. I'm thinking now, should they be left unattended? Who, the kids or the cats or who should be left unattended? Us? Is it us? We should be not left unattended? Probably not.
Ron, you make sure that your cat gets some more treats, or it's gonna be eating you middle of the night.
Right. He could do it. He'd probably open up his jaw like a snake.
Katie spends his evening in Denmark. I would love to hear about that, Katie. I've always wanted to go to them.
Go to Denmark.
Okay. Here's an interesting one. In the Ukraine, trees were decorated with artificial spiders and webs, and a poor family had a plain tree with these things decorated by the artificial spiders and webs. When they woke up in the morning, these things spun the family into it. What were the artificial webs changed into?
Garland? What do you say?
He's thinking of a smart-ass answer. You know that, right? Or something very punny.
I'm going for Garland. That's fine.
Anyone else? Cherie said ribbons or bows. Joe said silk. Charles said duct tape.
Silk is a good answer, though.
Well, duct tape makes good babysitters.
Julianne said spun gold. Katie said, I have to cook, so I won't be bombarding chat for a while. I hope you're making something really yummy. Venus said, I missed the question. I was distracted. So in the Ukraine, a poor family had a plain tree and they decorated with artificial spiders and webs. What did the artificial web turn into overnight? Ron, me, and Maria were wondering how you feel about Snoop Dogg. Who are you asking the question to? Justin.
The artificial web turned into Snoop Dogg?
Maybe it was money because they were poor.
Ah.
Can we have two answers?
Money does grow on trees.
Yeah, the money tree.
String of popcorn, Joe says.
Snoop Dogg is all right for the question.
Yeah.
Justin is asking Ron.
Easy for treesies.
I'm a big Snoop fan.
I like Snoop Dogg.
He likes Snoop Dogg.
I'm a big fan. I like rap.
I know who else loves Snoop Dogg, actually.
Who?
Anthony's wife.
Really?
She loves Snoop Dogg.
Yeah.
She actually has a crush on him.
Get out of here. Not something I would have expected.
Yeah.
I know.
Justin said, and Tupac Shakur, aka Machiavelli. And Ron said, I do not like that one, Justin. And Justin said, NWA. Okay, so we have all our answers. Everybody's got their answer in?
Yeah, we have. I wanted you to say two answers, Garland or money.
I might actually give this one to two of you. It's spun silver because you were right. They were poor.
Yeah.
That's in the question. So you guys got one. Somebody else said spun gold. Julianne. So Senya has 4.5. Lourdes and Ron, you have 2. Ron has 1. Julianne has 1.
Marianne needs to get off the show. Is that her name, Marianne?
Senya, the one that's winning.
Yeah, I'm just kidding.
Oh, she's a smarty pants. Julianne said Ukraine, geez, they were cannibals at one time. And Justin said, why is it because of race? Ron said, I have some new gold. Is it your grill?
Yeah. It's his teeth, his fillings.
Let's see. Okay, so in Norway, the Norwegians must hide their brooms on Christmas Eve. Why?
They must hide their brews on Christmas
brooms.
Eve.
They're brooms.
Oh, brooms.
Yeah,
brooms.
bruise off.
Brooms on Christmas Eve.
I hide my booze on Christmas Eve because of Todd.
I would say to keep him away from the witches. I don't know. Witches on Christmas Eve. I don't know. What do you say?
Hey, Ron.
Yeah.
Joe says Ron is coming up short. Go figure. Guess which Joe that is?
I know who that is.
You know who
That's
that
Uncle
is.
That's Uncle Giuseppe.
Giuseppe.
Uncle Giuseppe.
What were you gonna say?
Justin wants to know if it's
That wasn't a
because of
question. You
race,
get your
and
points.
now we're dodging the question. I don't understand why is it because of race. Let's see. Senya said to keep evil or demonic presence away. Joe said so that they can get deboweled on January 6th. You guys weren't there for that question. Venus says he's working for the Anunnaki. I don't know who's working. I'm so confused because I'm not inside of this chat the whole time. Keep spirits from riding them, from Tony. Justin said knew he liked gangster rap. Maria said witches come out on Christmas Eve, so they hide the brooms.
That's what I'm thinking. But I don't know.
What's wrong with witches?
Nothing, but that's their custom.
Yeah, it's very difficult to ride a Swiffer.
Listen, that is my new ride because we're up to date now. Izzy said I should be riding a Roomba.
You could, I guess.
Yeah.
Joe said to avoid air traffic for Santa. Julianne said so Santa doesn't trip and fall. Justin said they also shove them in their booty hole. I don't know who.
Oh, Lord have mercy.
I don't know who is doing that, but all right. So
you can still sweep that way. I guess it's you're upset.
I guess I think it might hurt a little, but
Let's not discuss that.
Charles said Christmas Eve chimney sweeping. Well, who would be doing it if we're hiding them?
Right.
Well, apparently that's where it's getting hidden.
So, okay. Everybody's final answer. What did you guys say?
I said to keep them away from the witches. Yeah. Because they come out on Christmas Eve. I mean, I don't know.
So the answer is Norwegians must hide their brooms on Christmas Eve because evil witches may steal them.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Okay.
And I'm just guessing.
Look, you go.
I guessed all three answers. I just guessed.
So you got that. Maria got that.
Points.
I didn't even know witches came out on Christmas Eve. I thought they came out every day.
We're out all the time.
That's right.
We're out partying.
We're out all the time.
He's out every Thursday night over here.
From 6 to 8 Eastern Standard. Julianne said, oh dear, nobody should be cleaning on Christmas Eve. Well, it depends on who's at your house and who you have to clean up after. Weather is sounding angry here in New Jersey. I worry about the furry friends outside. Back to cooking. Thank you, Katie, for the weather report and worrying about our friends.
Yeah, her furry friends. So she has to feed it. They're going to eat her.
Yeah.
Katie,
Especially
feed
those
those animals
Yule
before they come in to eat you.
Those Yule cats, they'll get you every time.
Yule.
She got it. Sorry, Katie, the verbs were built for it though. But the question, why would they be there in the winter? Oh, the animals? People are messed up in the head. That's why. Let's see.
They have Muppet cats. The Holtes have Muppet cats.
Muppet cats.
Yeah, they're real cats, but they look like Muppets. They're awesome.
They're so cute. They have character. I don't know. They're adorable.
I think all animals have their own character and their own personality, don't you?
That's true.
And they build ghost boxes too. It's really weird.
The cats.
The cat. The cats are building the ghost boxes and they're getting the credit for it. I understand this.
They train the cats to build ghost boxes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Do they get like 12 cents an hour? Like,
That's what you call a real sweatshop.
It's not crazy. It's like this isn't Norwegian wages.
An assembly line of cats.
Ron wants to know the witches. Why would they steal brooms? Hello, cars are expensive these days.
Yeah. It's cheaper than gas. Why not?
All right, here's another one. So the candy cane dates back to 1670. It was actually first used in a church. Why? A Nimbus 4000 XL, that would be perfect.
It was first church. Why? As incense, maybe?
Okay.
That's the only thing I can think of. To ward off, bad spirits or whatever. I mean,
Can you burn it?
no, but the peppermints.
Yeah, I don't think you burn those things.
I mean, you could, I guess. You can burn anything.
Houses,
Not a wicked goat.
people,
Yeah.
goats.
Not a wicked goat.
That's the only thing I can
Or just
think
a
of.
goat. All right, so Julianne said bells. Joe said for upset stomachs. People ate too much on Christmas.
That sounds good.
Ron said blood. Katie said dousing. Senya asked what the question was.
That's a good question. That's good.
That could be, right? Because it didn't necessarily have to be a cane.
Yeah,
Candy
exactly.
canes
Is
date back
diabetes
to
here? Yes or no? Yes, diabetes is here.
candy canes date back to 1670 and were first used in a church. Why?
Because people didn't understand the collection plate.
Yeah.
Yeah, we can even. No, we have it go now.
Yeah.
You?
Yes.
All right. Well, I think that's my answer, as incense or something to ward off bad spirits or whatever, I guess.
Okay.
What do you say?
Senya says the color red for Jesus's blood.
And the whites for the purification.
They use it to hook people in the church.
I'm getting low. Right this short.
Your time is up, Father. Get off the stage. That's funny.
Yeah, that's to get them to put money in the collection plate. They walk by, you can hook them in.
The tide is low this year. Okay, so Julian said, I knew this one represents the shepherd, the blood of Christ. Katie said they love stripes. Charles said the canes were used to beat children who fell asleep, LOL. And Ron said, I agree, Lourdes. Okay, any final answers? Anybody not get in here?
None of those answers should be final, but go ahead.
Final answer.
All right, so you ready for this one? This is interesting. So legend has, the priest got tired of the bad breath, says Joe. I probably would back in 1670. No toothbrushes then. So legend has it that the candy cane dates back to 1670 when the choir master at the Cologne Cathedral in Germany handed out sugar sticks among his young singers to keep them quiet during the living crush ceremony. In honor of the occasion, he bent the candies into shepherd's crooks. That's interesting.
Okay.
So,
Shut the kids up.
yeah.
Give them sugar.
You know what?
Give them sugar. Why not?
People with more common sense, right?
But here's the thing: you're giving a bunch of kids sugar to shut them up.
Yeah, that's all.
Not super smart.
Well, because then when it came to singing, because it was the choir, was it? Then they will have a lot of energy to sing. I don't know.
And then send them home to their parents, right? On Christmas Eve. I wonder if that was midnight mass. They were up all night long after that.
Bouncing off the walls.
Everybody had parts of answers.
Who's the winner?
Well, do we have, let's see.
We're in second place, I think.
We have technically one more question. You want to do one more?
Sure.
It's 10 of. Okay, so in Italy, and I know that you're Italian and you like to forget about it. You're still the co-host and you can't answer this.
Forget about it.
Shut your mouth. All right. So
Shut your face.
in Italy, there was a witch named Befana who would bring things to children. What did she bring?
Meatballs.
Unbelievable.
The meatball hero. Goodbye.
Cannolis.
Cannolis. I'm the only one bring cannolis.
I'd be all over that.
What do you think? He's Italian too. What do you think?
She was an Italian witch, and she brought something to children.
Her name was Befana.
Befana.
Buffalo
Buffalo wings.
Buffalo wings.
Her name was actually Banana, but they changed it to Befana.
Banana.
Oh wow.
Banana. Banana, Fofana.
Yeah, that's why I got banana. All right. I say cannolis, you say banana?
Cannolis to kids?
I don't know.
Why are we giving kids sugar in all these stories?
It's Christmas, you Grinchy Krampus.
You too. Chocolate wafers.
Chocolate wafers. Gazelles.
From church, you know. You're from church. You got the wafer, you know.
A wooden spoon?
On the knuckles?
Yeah.
You got the wooden spoon across the back of the head.
If you're not good, I'm going to give you the wooden spoon.
They don't tell you you're not good. They just hit you with a wooden spoon.
A stocking.
Mine says stocking.
Her own, like right off her foot.
Nice.
A stocking full of gifts, I guess.
A stocking with a foot to kick you in the ass with.
I stick with cannoli because I don't know. Cannoli.
The cannoli. So, all right. Joe says candy and sweets on January 6th. Katie says cupcakes or dolls. Venus says banana nut bread. Joe says cookies. Julie says small dead animals, marbles, spaghetti, raviolis. All of that? Do you think they deserve everything? Maybe just the small dead animals.
Small dead animals. Hey.
Justin says cat food and cookies. Is that for the Yule cat?
Mm-hmm.
Ron says fruitcake. Venus says fattens them up for the ovens. Katie says banana split. Oh, I could go for a banana split. Carol says candy canes. Senya says candy, gifts, bad luck. That's a lot of stuff. Charles says just to sweeten up the little dearies for splitting day. Katie says jerk chicken. In Italy. Charles says,
yeah, we call that jerk chicken. Hey.
Yay!
Whoa.
Beef patty. I'm sorry.
Charles says last
Stocking
year.
full jerk chicken.
Charles says last year's fruitcake.
Hey.
And you guys say cannoli?
I said cannoli. He said stocking.
Her own stocking with her sweaty foot smell.
Take it right off her.
A Christmas stocking, I think he's talking about, right? Or are you talking about her sweaty ass stocking? Either one.
She gives her the bloomers, those big bloomers, right off her.
She's giving she's giving them her bloomers.
Yeah, the big bloomers, the big ones.
Nobody wants bloomers off a fat
Hanging
sweaty
by the
witch.
fireplace, you get bigger gifts.
Funny.
I know it has something to do with her name, I think.
Yeah.
That's why I was thinking maybe bananas, but
Yeah, banana split. I like that answer.
I like that answer. I'd go for that. All right, so I'm adding the points here because I'm going through all the people.
Sweet meatballs. Katie.
I'd go.
That's a nice and spicy meatball.
and then did you even know the answer? You didn't know the answer, do you?
No, I have no idea what the answers are. She's the one who came all the questions. I have
No, but
one
I'm saying
question
you're
tonight. That was it.
Italian.
Huh?
You're Italian. You're Italian, so I was wondering if you knew this particular answer.
For Christmas? Ooh, I don't know.
Forget about it.
Forget about it. For Christmas, Christmas Eve was big fish. But the next day, more food. That's it. We all we did was eat. Can't you tell? We gotta eat. Mangia, mangia, mangia.
Yes, and we are all mentally challenged here. All right, so the
I
tally
like
is.
ice cream.
Wait, what's the answer?
Sorry. So the answer, I'm way ahead of myself here. The answer is Bafana, a friendly witch, brings toys and candy to kids.
Okay.
Maybe in a sweaty stocking.
I said cannoli, but cannoli. It's not really candy.
But I would say that's part of the
Right? Okay.
treat. It's like treats. So I gave like everyone that said some kind of treat a point. So here's how it went down. So Charles, Carol, Katie, Justin, Venus, Joe, Maria, Julianne all had 1 point. Ron from ERRT had 2. Lourdes and Ron had 3. And Senya, our big winner, had 5.5.
Oh no. Look at that.
So Senya is going to have a gift sent to her from me. It's a surprise.
It's a sweaty sock.
It's a sweaty stocking from a witch.
Stocking, a sweaty stocking with the bloomers.
The bloomers.
The bloomers and the socks. That's what you're getting. Yeah, that's your gift.
I would never send you my bloomers.
Well,
I
we're
will
not-
send you my sweaty stocking.
And they're not going to wash them before they send them.
So congratulations, Senya. You are the bomb. Did you guys have fun? Did everybody have fun?
Yeah, it was fun.
I mean,
Thank you.
I thought it was a good time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Charles, my sweaty stocking.
That's the gift.
Ron got coal. Everybody else had a good time. Anthony is so blinky, LED love it. Yeah, it was.
I'm still blinking.
I want a rematch. No.
I
my hand. I'm sorry. I keep hitting with my hand.
It's a CD with Anthony singing Dominic the Donkey.
Oh,
I think that it's better when you don't have answers because it's fun to see what people actually come off with. They're so bizarre sometimes that you never know what somebody's going to come up with.
Man, I had no idea what the questions were, so.
Well, you were supposed to make questions and you didn't. You were so
I
busy reading and
did, but I
forgetting the
forgot
answer.
them. I did, I forgot.
You know, Ron, I was looking forward to seeing what your answers were going to be. I'm kind of disappointed, so we're going to have to do this again.
Yeah.
I really wanted to see what Chris came up with, but they were traveling.
Yeah.
Lourdes, you really had much better answers than your mate here.
I was surprised because
you beat the
honestly guessed every single one.
what do you call Rondopedia? You beat the Rondopedia. Lourdes.
I just use, you know what it is? I use kind of common sense because sometimes the answers in the question.
So,
sometimes
I guess he doesn't have any common sense. What are you trying to say?
No, he has other sense.
No
He
sense.
has other sense, not common.
There was no common, with no sense.
Ron is very quiet tonight.
Yeah.
Why are you so quiet tonight?
Because I keep hitting him with my hat.
Yeah.
Is this before the show, during the show, after the show?
During the show, every time I leaned over, I was like, whack, and I would hit him right there.
You hit the glasses.
Good night, Katie.
Oh,
Thanks for being here.
Big knot on his head.
Joe said that's because he had to shut the radio off and couldn't cheat.
You don't have the answer from the radio tonight.
The spirits.
Yeah.
So
I should have run it.
You guys, if you want to, plug anything, because I know you guys got a lot of things coming up, So if you want to plug some of the stuff in January and,
Why don't you tell everybody a little bit about what you do before we leave and talk about what you're getting ready to do?
Go ahead. This is your thing. Go ahead. I answer the questions. Go ahead.
Did the Yule Cat bite your tongue off?
Yeah. Yeah. So we do direct radio
voice.
Yeah. So
he does that.
Correct. Yeah, we do ITC research, which is instrumental transcommunication. We do method called direct radio voice, which is just using an empty white noise channel. It doesn't have a sweep to it. It's not scanning through like a ghost box does. And then we do live filtration of it. So it's one step north of purity to like EVP. And we've had pretty good success with it. We have had some long responses and conversations through just pure white noise, and it's been almost 4 years.
Yeah.
Right? Since we started
going on 5.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, going on 5. And as far as events, we're doing the Risk Theater on January 7th. All the proceeds goes to the theater and their
nice place.
And their arts program, performing arts program. And it's in Haddon Township, New Jersey.
Yeah.
So if anybody's interested,
January 7th.
January 7th. Yep.
Yeah. Parasite Investigations is doing it.
Right.
Great group. Really nice people.
And it's a good event because all the proceeds is going to their performing arts program, which I love, and helping the kids in the community. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So come on out if you want.
Then January 14th. It's like 2 weeks after that. We're doing the tavern in Virginia.
Oh, that's the 21st.
Yeah,
I believe.
What's the name of the Paracon?
The Hanover Paracon?
Hanover Paracon, yep. Down in Virginia.
Let me double check. I'm gonna tell you right now. Okay. I'm telling you, I hate this thing. Hanover Tavern Paracon. That's January 20th to the 22nd.
2 weeks later, yeah, 20. Yep. So we're speaking there and presenting
in Virginia, right? Hanover, Virginia. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So we're speaking there.
And then
the 21st?
Yeah, the 20th, 21st? Yeah.
The 20th to the 22nd. I think it's the 21st. Yeah, 20 to the 20.
It's mainly it's the Saturday to the 21st. Yeah.
Yeah, 20th to the 21st. Yeah.
We're probably traveling the Friday and
so it's probably Sunday. Just the 21st.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Okay. They got a nice lineup of people.
Yeah, it sounds like fun, that one.
Yeah, nice people. Steve Dill is behind it. Paraflix is behind it.
Then really after that, we're taking a little, because the next thing we're doing is in April, which is the Hinsdale house for my birthday weekend.
Well, we have a
I
trip that we're
heard
planning.
about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Well, we may have a trip. We may have 2 trips actually, right, in March.
At least one in March that we're looking at doing, going down south.
But maybe 2. Remember the other thing that we had.
Oh, yeah. Well, yeah.
So we may go though to the house in between in February or March.
Probably early March. We were looking at February, March, but we want to make sure we don't have any weather problems.
Yeah, we don't have a definite date yet.
So we're looking at probably the first half of March. The house that they did the House in Between movies about. We're going to go spend 2 nights sleeping in the house. And we're going to run direct radio voice in the house.
That's going to be awesome.
That's going to be fun. That's going to be fun.
That place is no joke. So I'm very interested to see what happens there.
Yep.
Cool.
Yeah, that's going to be fun. I seen the movie, and it was wild how things get thrown down the stairs, the carriage, and they put things on the stairs, and it's like things move by themselves. That's a wild place.
Yeah.
That's going to be fun.
I actually watched the documentary on that house. It was really interesting. Like that's
Yeah,
they did two films, and the baseballs went down the stairs. They investigated really thoroughly the whole thing. But the one thing that we found out when we were talking to John Bullard and Brad Cooney, who were the main investigators on both movies, was that the only reason the carriage didn't go down the stairs was because it got caught on a cable that one of the lights or cameras that was at the top of the stairs was secured. The power cord basically caught it. But when the carriage gets a little bit of a push, it would have gone all the way down if it didn't get caught on a wire.
Yeah, that looked. I mean, and when I seen that, I was like, and it doesn't look like it's like because sometimes stairs are on the top of the old houses, they start warping and stuff, and this looked like like it was flush, and you should have never did that. That was pretty cool. That's gonna be awesome.
And the lights going on and off, and they had an electrician check everything out. The lights gone on.
Hey, they didn't have me go down there and check it out. You know what I'm saying? I would have found it out.
So I think it's the house. I think it's the house, but it's probably also the land. I would imagine.
Yeah, most likely. Houses like that usually is the land, and it just adds to, whatever may be stuck in the house because of the land also,
Right.
And so
I think it also has something to do with her as well.
Yes. We were just talking about that.
It seems very like as I was watching it, I kept hearing something about like PK manifestations, and I don't know, something about her seems very anxious, even though she doesn't show anxious.
Yeah,
she could be a contributing factor to it, but I don't think she's the cause.
She's not the cause. Absolutely not. Yeah. I think that there might be like maybe a Native American burial ground around there, or like there's definitely like Native American connections for sure.
I think she helps it, just like with David Oman and David being in the house.
Yeah,
it's just, I think it's the same kind of scenario, very similar. It's it's everything else, but she also is part of it. I totally yeah.
It was Kendall, Upton, and Steve Gonzalez, and then Brad Cooney and John Bullard. They did a great job. Everybody involved with investigating. They did ground penetrating radar. They had an electrician come out. They checked if the stairs were pitched. They did everything.
Yeah.
And they had a geophysicist, I think she was, outside, and she saw somebody walk past like a tent. So she had a sighting when there was nobody outside of a shadow figure walking by. So that was interesting also. They did, it was a really, really thorough investigation. But the one cool thing from where we're sitting is that they haven't done, I know they've done EVP and stuff in there, and that you didn't see a lot of it in the films. The second one more, but they've never had anything like direct radio voice, what we do in that house. And that's partly why we got a nod to go down there, and that's why we're excited to go down there, I think, because what we've done has been investigated for 14 years, and nothing ITC like what we do has been attempted in that house.
Many places that out there hasn't experienced what you do yet. You know what I mean? And what you do is, I still think it's amazing. So, and you guys been working hard at it for a long time. You know, so
I
yeah.
think what you guys do is so different, and it's so amazing because for people like me, as I was explaining, I don't know if you heard anything about what I was talking about. Bye, Justin. Bye, Senya. Thanks for coming in and showing yourselves up.
Thank you guys for coming in.
Merry Christmas or whatever, Justin.
Merry Christmas, Happy New Year.
Like when I have a problem, because like I told everyone, I have dysautonomia, so it's really hard for me to use a spirit box with like all the static in the background. It's really hard for me to pick up what's being said. I have really bad ringing in my ears, and it's constant. It doesn't ever go away. Plus, because of being psychic, I have things constantly being told to me that I'm trying to separate that and hearing that, and then hearing the static and hearing everything else. It's really difficult. So this is like a huge bonus for me to have something like that. And like when you guys were, you know, when you had shown everything about what you do, Ron, like what you guys have is such a huge advantage for someone like me, because even when I'm getting information from spirit, it's like I'll have like an ascended master talking over here and a spirit over here and a deceased loved one over here, and they're like, you know, and to try to separate that is really kind of difficult sometimes. Plus, like one arm will go completely numb and turn freezing cold, and that's for me to know that the person I'm reading has a disability in that arm, and as soon as I tell them what that is, I get that feeling right back again. So I'm like trying to decipher the difference between all my senses plus everything I'm hearing and all of that other stuff, and like it's really hard for someone like me. But what you're doing is amazing, and I love this so much. And Ron, I know I've told you a million times, but Lourdes, thank you guys for what you do. And Ron, it was so hard for me to not like bawl my eyes out while I'm trying to talk to you, and then like Maggie, you know, it's an amazing thing. And I know in one of our shows, and I don't know who we talked to about this, like I kept saying, it's like having a payphone to the other side where you can literally just talk to the person that you love and not have to sit and try to listen so hard. And it's an amazing thing for the future, possibly, that where we're going to be able to maybe have something like that in all of our homes, where we can just sit and, you know, like one of these days be like, hi, Graham, you know, you created such a fascinating, wonderful, amazing thing.
A spirit
we appreciate that. We took something that was done in Europe. It was done here too, but because it wasn't on TV in America, it didn't really take root the same way. And when I saw what these people did with low tech compared to, I think everything, especially in America, from the shows and everything is tech driven. It's lights and gadgets, and I'm not saying tech doesn't work. We use an element of it for sure with what we do, but a lot of the metaphysical side of it, a lot of the intent and the morphic resonance, and a lot of the things that are not the tech got lost. And there's this Italian guy, Marcello Bacci, using a vacuum tube radio, outdoing anything I've ever seen a spirit box do. So that got my attention. So, I mean, we brought something back. I mean, if we had created it and pioneered it, you know, I'd be all about the accolades at that level. But the only thing I think we did was that we looked at genius. We looked at data. Data's king. And with this guy and people like him, the Harsh Fishbacks in Luxembourg, what they were doing was unprecedented. And then I'm looking at the direction that ITC had gone, and I'm not seeing an improvement. I'm seeing an offshoot. I'm seeing another method that was born of it that works, that clearly works, but it wasn't evolutionary. It was revolutionary. It was a concept that was born off of EVP research, or I know the Frank's box came from, I think he was trying to contact aliens, not even ghosts. And so I just couldn't believe nobody was doing what I had seen these people doing and the results they were getting. And I said, we're going to sit and listen to static for a while and see what happens. And we tried different things with it until we got to where we are now.
You know, it's funny as he's speaking, because I agree with him 100%. And like the ghost boxes, we use them and they do work. And if you talk about, because it's so funny, because the whole team, they do really good ghost boxes, and we have a whole bunch of them.
Yep.
And we use them and we get stuff. And then he started talking about the morphic resonance, and I think that's why their stuff is so good, because they have a connection and they have the intent when they're building these boxes that not every person who builds ghost boxes have, because they're more for, like, you know, just the money, and they're not putting their intent into the building, and which I think is a big part of it. But yeah, so it's not to say the ghost boxes don't work. We do use them; they're great.
Absolutely.
But there is a brevity to the messages. We get longer. We get paragraphs sometimes. You know, now lately, you know,
and that's amazing, because a lot of times you can just get one word out of something, and that one word can mean so many different things. Like heaven. Does that mean you're in heaven? Does that mean you want to go to heaven? Does that mean that you're, you know,
your name is heaven?
Yeah,
like
so many different things, and like you're caught in a guessing game, really.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's context and timing and relevance is that's part of the problem with a lot of the word generating things like an Ovilus, where they just give you words. If you don't have context for it, you start creating a narrative, which can be, you know, it can be data dangerous, because you start taking results and misconstruing it as evidence when it's just results. Like, those devices will give you results, but whether that's evidence of anything is a different story. You know, if it's answering, if you have the timing and relevance aspect to it, then yeah. And to what Lourdes said too, that's one of the things that makes the ghost box builders like the Holtes, the Austin Maynards, the Jay Prathers, the KD and Katie Staffers. What makes those people, the Tim Woolworths, so good is that they have taken that spirit box thing that people know from the original SB7s, and they have made it a far better animal than it ever was. They've made it quieter, smoother. They've reversed it. They've done things to vet the authenticity of what you get. And it is an exciting avenue of study for sure. She's right. We've spent a lot of money on them. We have some of them displayed on the shelves, and we use them.
I love the ghost box. I love the ones we have. We have a lot of Holte boxes though. We may be a little biased, but we do have a lot of Holte boxes.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah, they do. They do. I got the one that Katie let me use, and I think it's fantastic. You know,
the Orion box.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. I know you want to say, because you know I'm going to say it wrong. I know, Loki. But yeah, I mean they do. I mean, how many sessions I sat in with you guys, and you know, and from the beginning, from that one time when you came home, it was the first box I bought, and I was with them. We went down to meet Steve and Katie Holte, and we come back, and we get back into Ron's apartment. It was me, Ron, and Lourdes, and we walk in, and Lourdes goes, "Hey, you want a Red Bull?" Ron turns on the freaking box and says, "Red Bull." It's like, the hell?
It wasn't even on. It wasn't even on yet.
Like right on. Yeah, and there's no microphone. There's no memory in that thing. It's just spewing out words, and it's like, whoa! How that? It's like, and we all three heard it, so it was like, and then right after that, it's like Ron was sold whoever you know in their boxes, you know.
They're good, even. Jay Prather's, is it the Jay where we got hello?
Yeah, the direct link. Yeah.
So we come home from an investigation, and because Ron's always like messing with the ghost boxes. So we come home, and he just turns on the Jay Prather box, and I'm not gonna say the word. I'm gonna spell it because I don't know if we'll get booted off of Facebook if I say it. But we're putting things away from the investigation, and Ron goes, "Let me just turn this on." And the minute he turns it on, it goes, "Hello, C-U-N-T.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
It was so funny.
Very clear.
But it
Very
has,
clear.
it has such a fondness for you, Lord.
And he could have been calling him that, but yeah. But it was
Yeah,
like you
Ron
could
probably
tell
took that.
it was a very
Ron's like probably all over that.
right? I took it as joking. He was like, "Hello," because the way he said
Maybe
it,
it was
"Hello," it was funny.
maybe it was
Very joke.
English. Maybe it was like British. Maybe it was British, and they just throw words around like that.
Yeah, but
It was funny.
it was funny, man. It was funny.
It was very clear and it was very funny.
So clear and so relevant because we just came in. Hello, like welcome back.
How did you did you fall on the floor dying?
Yeah, we were cracking up. It was so funny.
Yeah, it was really funny.
It was really funny.
Very
Yeah,
unexpected.
but
And that's not coming through the broadcast.
No, that's not coming through a broadcast.
and aren't we doing the what do you call it? The Conjuring House too, aren't we do that?
In May. That's in
Yeah,
May.
we're doing the Conjuring House in May.
And then the Shanley in June.
Shanley in June.
Mm-hmm.
So guys got a bunch of things coming up.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And then in between and stuff like that, everything else in Gettysburg, Battlefield Bash.
So
Yeah, we're when is the bash again?
it's in July,
July.
most likely.
July.
14th to the 16th.
So
Yeah.
we're speaking at the Gettysburg Battlefield Bash this year too, and then we have our exhibit at the New Jersey Power Unity Expo,
Which is in
November.
Is in November, right? The expo?
I think
pretty
so.
sure
Yes.
It's in November.
And then Rochester Parafest is what, April?
Oh, he changed the date. You know that, right?
No, he did. What did
Yeah,
change
he
it to?
did. That I don't remember. But I know he
I'll
did.
throw a text out because I'd like to get back to that one.
It's either isn't it in March or April?
I thought you said it was in April.
It was originally the day we were going to Kingsdale House. That's why we didn't, we were like, oh, great.
He changed it. I forgot what date he changed it to, but he did.
All right. So I guess we're going to be going there. I'm
Yes,
looking
sir.
forward to that too. Yeah,
That's
but
gonna be
maybe
cool.
this time I don't get pulled over.
So Maureen, if you haven't been to the Shanley Hotel, you should go. The June event is a public event, so I'll be posting stuff and everything. But you're gonna love that place.
Yeah, you like that
You'll love
place.
it. You love it.
Yeah, I love that place.
We were talking about going back to the George Taylor House as a private event, if you guys are interested.
Where is that?
Yeah.
It's in PA. It's around the Allentown area.
Okay,
And
that's not far.
when we went, Todd and I went, and it was an event held by Interstate, and they're out of Delaware. But it was an event where Porter and Steph Burke were there, and it was amazing. Like there was activity as soon as you walk in the door, and I love Porter. He gets so excited when there is something that comes up, and the two of us were like, oh my God, like we're like two little kids, like, and it's this, whomever this person, like it was George Taylor, I guess. And he was like, can you tell me what song you like? And it was first it was Doodle Doodle. And he said, what was the name of the song again? Yankee Doodle. And we're like, oh my God, like screaming like little kids, so excited. And I love that about him because he's still so excited after investigating for such a long time. And he, being on TV and stuff, you would think that he's like burnt out already or whatever, but he's such a like normal everyday guy who's still like, a kindergartner who's learning how to draw for the first time.
I'm still like that. I do the same thing. Every
time I do like mediumship and something comes through and someone goes, oh my God, that's my grandma's name, I'm like, get out of here. Like, I love what I do so much. And I love when something hits on something for someone that's so personal. And like, I'll sit here and sob my eyes out with someone when it's personal for them and they're crying, you know, it's like, it's meaningful, and it's, that's what it's about for me, you know?
Yes. Yes.
So
That's what we've been doing a lot of that too. That's actually my third book comes out in February called the Digital Seance Initiative, and that's kind of what a lot of it is we've had a string of over a year and a half maybe of doing different direct radio sittings fused with like a seance kind of environment, hence Digital Seance, where we've had at least one, if not more people have some kind of profound connection or message or something.
Well, it was at least 3.
And they've at least, well, yeah, there were 2 major ones at the Jersey Power Unity when we did closed door. Richard had one at the Richard Michelle at that residential one. There was the other girl who sent me a message from the Power Unity one at a different session that same day. The guy, George, yeah, the guy George who was at both Power Unities 2021 and 22.
Oh yeah, that guy that was there, yes, with the cane.
That was fascinating. He came in 2021 and he stayed in our exhibit room for a long time. And he's getting ready to leave, and he goes, "Well, if you see my wife, tell her I said hello." And we went, "Oh, what was, you know?" She goes, "Well, hold on a second. What's her name?" And he said, "Well, a lot of the mediums told him that she was around him." So she goes, "Well, hang around for a minute, Dad. You know, so we'll see if we can get her name." So she goes, "What's the name?" And then he told you the name.
Yeah.
And then I'm sitting there, we're waiting for a question. We're going to ask a question, and I hear a female come in low and going, "That's my husband." And I flipped the F out, which I never do. I stood up, I kicked my chair under the table, and I walked out into the hallway. I went, "Holy shit, I can't believe what just happened." I heard it. And then we had sent it to him. So the next year, this guy comes back. He doesn't come to the back at all where our exhibit room is. He was using a walker. He probably, because they had a lot of like the Cody and Satori room was back there. So it was probably, he didn't want to wait in the lines or whatever.
And we kept getting the name George.
We kept getting
it. And we didn't, it's been a year. So we're not thinking about this gentleman.
No.
Right.
Go ahead.
Who was the one that was catching George's name on the things? It was one of the people, the one guy who had the dog with him.
What are you talking about?
One of the people in the room during the sitting had a dog with him. It was one of those, I kept the name of the dogs in it. You can't pet them.
It's a nice seeing dog or whatever. It's a service dog.
Service dog. He had a service dog.
Service dog, yes.
He heard it, and a couple other people heard it.
Okay.
Because he pointed it out first, I think, that they were getting the name George.
Scotty heard it. I heard it. A lot of people heard the name George.
So then we see on Facebook, Scotty posts. Scotty reposts Robert and Sandra Bandoff. So I think Robert Bandoff from Barefoot Paranormal. He had a table in the main area in the gym. And Scotty shares.
I have to say something. Before he posts this, Robert told us this story. We're still not realizing the extent of the story. But go ahead. Because he told us this story beforehand. Yes, he did. We were like, "Oh, that's so cool." He was talking about that he got this great EVP for this gentleman who was looking for his wife, whatever. And so something told him to whip out the DR60. And even though there was a lot of people, because it's an expo, they got a really clear, loud EVP on the DR60. He told us the story.
Right.
So then Scotty posts on Facebook.
Scotty, the medium from New Jersey, Scotty Davis, he reposts Robert's thing. He goes, "Anybody know who this George person is? We were getting this name a lot." And then it's referencing Robert's post where he said that they used the DR60 and got an EVP where she says, "Hi, George," or whatever. And
does anybody know
who knew this person is? And I look at the picture from Robert Bandoff's post, and it's the same gentleman with the walker standing the same way. I went, "Holy cow, that's the guy." His wife came through the expo 2 years in a row, once in our room.
So while we were getting George on the direct radio voice, he was with Robert getting the EVP from his wife. So we were thinking and we're pretty close, we're close with the Bandoffs. So something told him he didn't do it for every person that went through the expo, but for that particular gentleman, he did. And he pulled it out and he got the EVP. So I think that speaks to morphic resonance because that's all like connected. But that was, So while he was getting George, he's with our friend getting an EVP from his wife on the DR60 at simultaneously. Isn't that kind of cool?
Crazy.
Right? That was kind of crazy.
Yeah, he got direct communication through us 1 year. The next year, his wife is calling for him to come into our room, probably because it worked the year before. At the same time, she's saying his name in our room. Then they get an EVP in the other room when she says hello to him. It was. So that's in the third book that's coming out in February. Digital
But the
Seance.
most profound one, which he hasn't mentioned, because this is the reason why we do it. I think this is one of our very first ones, at least one of our most profound ones. We was in Waynesboro, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And it's a 15-year-old girl, and she's hearing like her grandmother come through, like her voice.
Yeah.
And she's hearing the voice, and she's like, "That's my grandma." And then so she's asking a whole bunch of questions, and then finally she says, "Well, Grandma, if this is you, what show we used to watch together when I was little?" And the answer came out, Dr. Roberts. I heard it. I don't know what Dr. Roberts. I never heard of the show. But when it said Dr. Roberts, she said, "Oh my God, that's the show we used to watch together, Dr. Roberts." And then she starts crying. And it was very life-changing for her. Like, it was so life-changing for her. So that's, doing that for someone, that's what it's all about. Because she heard she was missing her grandmother. She got her grandmother. We've had who lost their son in an accident, got him through the radio, Rich's grandmother. So those are the moments that we love, that we appreciate, that we can love helping and giving to people.
The girl sent me a message from the expo the next day. She didn't even ask any questions, but she recorded, like, encouraged them to record the session. And then her brother-in-law died like less than a year ago in a motorcycle accident, and he came through and said his name.
Yeah.
And then she sent me, and sure enough, the name is right there.
Yep.
And then the lady, remember at Pine Bush,
her
father came through.
She started crying,
and then her name got repeated back to her, and she got questions answered. So yeah, that's what you're saying about why to do it, and what means something to you to do it, and what excites you about your gift. We agree 100%, and we think that's a great message that you're sending.
Remember at the when you first started with the digital seance the first time at the museum, and I said, "Mom, if you're here and you have Cookie with you, make Cookie bark," because Cookie was my dog, my pet, and I said, "Make Cookie bark," and the thing started barking. You heard barking on the.
You heard bark.
Yeah, you heard barking. I'm like, whoa.
That was the first time that we heard like an animal sound, right? That was the very first time.
Yeah.
Since then we've gotten it, but that was the first time. Yeah, that was cool.
Wild. Because I remember Kelly and everybody, Kelly sitting next to me. Her face, because I was videotaping it, and her face was like, whoa.
She was like this. She was like this while going. And then she went, "Ooh."
It was wild. It was like really pretty cool.
He had sent us a video of it. She heard it, and she picked her face up.
Yeah.
Did you guys ever have someone with you who was a psychic medium while you were using that?
April.
We have.
Oh yes, April.
Sam.
April, who's gotten really good.
She's gotten really good
at hearing things coming out of the speaker. She's able to tune into it, which is a skill that we had to develop too. But we've noticed when she listens to stuff now that she's catching stuff in real time.
Yep.
Sam Baltrusis also channeled when we did it at White Hill. A couple of instances where he said things,
and it came out of the box.
And it came out of the speaker.
Speaker.
Just before or just afterwards.
Yeah.
Wow.
How about Scotty?
Scotty's another one.
Scotty. Oh, right. Scotty's another one. How about Scott? No, that wasn't related to direct radio necessarily, but Scotty had gotten something at the Shanley, and then Patty Negri came up with something.
Oh, the
similar with my mother.
The yellow.
Yeah.
The yellow. Yeah. And we worked with a couple.
If there was a difference with people who are not psychic as compared to people who were psychic, how the box related to the difference?
Yeah, I don't.
Well, I mean, so it's funny. We're we may, for lack of a better way to say this, we may box the process and somehow we're pretty mobile with it now. But for the moment, just to not confuse it with spirit box or ghost boxes, it's not a box. It's we're basically just filtering the white noise through with a radio or something like that. I feel like the intent and the people involved are more conducive to the process.
Because what April says when she's doing it, she goes, the way she sees us doing direct radio voice, she goes, what I do as a psychic medium is that's doing like my job. That's what she pretty much like, that's how she describes it. So it's like what I do and see and everything, it's that's because, and it's true, it's a medium. Our method is the medium, which is, the only thing is that everyone can hear what's coming out of the speaker instead of, with the psychic, you have to trust and believe on your psychic medium, and they're the ones that's hearing everything. So that's the way she always describes it. She goes, what I do, that's what that's doing right now. That's
I
how
just
she
wonder
describes it.
sometimes though, like, because as an empath who's also a psychic medium, I wonder because, like, say for instance, if you're using me as an example, I'm like a beacon, so I'm pulling all these spirits towards me. Is there a difference as to like, so now there's like 100 spirits who want to give the message instead of that? If I wasn't in the room, are there 3?
No, that's true, because I think I get my name called a lot, like a lot. And so does Ron. And I think we, at least together, we are like beacons. They love talking to us. I think they look for us.
Well,
So
you're
I think that
very empathic. Absolutely.
So I think that it depends on the people that's in the room. Yes, just like in an investigation, sometimes you get better evidence when you're with a certain group of people.
Yeah.
So I think it's the same thing with the direct radio voice. It does depend on the group of people that's with us. Just like when we was doing it at the museum. Oh, were you there? Anthony was with us. No, he wasn't.
Not the second time.
No, the second time. There was a big group and everybody was interested, but not everyone was passionate about it. It was more about fun and games. Once a certain amount of people left, then the real hardcore people stayed.
Second sitting.
The second sitting, we got a lot of good stuff. And it's because the group and the energy that was there. So yes, I say that's
I
true.
also think that I always say that we can't determine that a location can be labeled haunted purely on getting anomalous voices, because we get them anywhere. Yeah. And so if you work off of that notion combined with another popularly held belief that there isn't time-space restriction to how things work in the realm of spirit or whatever dimension that they're in, then it's hard to say when you're talking about non-locality and communication. People ask how many spirits are here, and you may get a number, but that could be a very fluid number, or it could be a number that's given based on the awareness of whoever's answering you.
Whoever wants to answer you.
The other side of it is that the European roots to the methodology, they speak to stations or ports of call that are called Time Stream, Rio do Tempo, the North American station, that people like Edison, Tesla, Konstantin Rodove are people who were interested in this stuff before are connected to on the other side. So it's not just ghost spirits floating around. You're actually connecting to an area that's using some level of technology in another realm. And that's a little bit more metaphysically tech than it is just spiritual, with saying that there's just ghosts and spirits around you. So we don't necessarily know where the line is drawn between how much is on one explanation or the other. But
I personally believe that it could be both. I think it's both. I think both things can happen, because I truly do believe, I'm not going to say, I'm not saying that there's ghost spirits flying around, but I do believe the voices are everywhere. They're talking. The voices are all around us all the time. We just can't hear it. Just like with radio frequencies, like Brown is always talking about, that they're always by. I think the same thing with the voices. They're always around us. We just can't hear it.
So it's
You
just
know?
like when we go to the mall, we're having a conversation, but so is everybody around us.
Yeah, we just can't
Mhm.
hear them. That's what I think. I do think that. And I also do think that there are stations. There are stations that you can reach. I do. I think, why can't both be possible? Both can be possible.
Yeah,
That's
I
true.
think so.
Well,
Because
even when we
it's
do a
different dimensions.
investigation, just a regular investigation, I mean, if you believe the intent's there, like you said, everybody's positive, that's when we get more energy. When we go in, we have a positive attitude. How much evidence do we get? We don't go in trying to beat up the ghosts, get nasty with them. We say, hey, we're here to talk to you and give positive. So, and I believe too, like what you're saying, Lourdes, there's always something in the air with the voices, not the air, but on the waves and you guys are challenging, not challenging, channeling,
You
channeling,
know,
You know me.
uh, channeling
Jesus
the
is
voices through your devices and everything, which was pretty cool, and that's why it's like every time I go with you guys, we always hear something, and I got like I got more video of these two than my kids on
We
doing
are.
investigations for the last I don't know how many years.
it's been a long time. It has been. We met you in 2017, perhaps.
We are your
Yeah,
kids. We're
well,
pretty sure we're on your taxes at this point.
yeah, you probably take me as dependent now. Lourdes, did you get my package? That package I sent?
Oh, I have to check next door. Did it
All
say that
right,
it's delivered? You don't know.
yeah, because what I sent you guys was the what do you call it?
Don't tell
The
me it's a
stick.
Christmas gift. No, I'm just kidding. Go ahead,
Okay,
tell me it's what?
I'm done.
No. Tell me.
I'd say
What
it
is
sent the
it?
memory stick.
Oh, the
You know,
memory stick. Okay.
the stick. I was listening to some of the old stuff, so I sent you a couple of those sittings,
Oh,
and
okay,
the
cool.
one sitting is from like your 96 sitting. I was there at that one, and then I was at the 100 one at your house. I'm talking about the house, and before that, what I was on the phone before we started doing the Zoom.
Yeah,
You
that
know,
was in the apartment next door.
yeah,
The 100.
yeah.
Yeah.
So I mean,
That's the day that said Red Bull, didn't it? Wasn't that the
that
day?
Red Bull, but that's why I with you guys for such a long time because I seen you guys getting something, and Ron was pushing for it, and you were so interested in it, you know, and I believed in you guys for such a long time, and I'm glad you guys are getting your recognition now, where they're being invited places and doing shows and everything else. I mean, it's a wild ride for you guys, and you guys finally got where you're going, and starting to get recognized. I mean, when you first started, how many people? I mean, people didn't want to hear it. They wanted to hear shh and the word, shh and the word, shh and the word. I'm like, listen to we want investigation. And people like, that again, that again. You know something? You guys stuck with it and said, the hell with them. And guess what? They're not doing nothing, and you are still doing your stuff. But I mean, it's you guys are still going at it, and you guys gonna go one day. There's gonna be a book written about Ron and Lourdes about this stuff. You know, because you guys been really working hard at it. So
We appreciate the love and support. You've been with us for a long time, doing this remotely and in person. Maureen, people like you, same thing. We really do. We appreciate it. And any recognition and kudos, of course, like anybody, we welcome it. But we did so much of the legwork sitting like just at a table like this, just running white noise, and then we had to listen to what we recorded back, and we tried mixing different frequencies in the whole. We did so much work that doesn't, it's like the overnight success and music thing. They're doing dive bars for 10 years, and all of a sudden they're a success overnight. People think it happened like that. We spent 3.5 years or so of not missing a week
During COVID,
or
when
more.
everything
We
was
started before that, and
Yeah.
then we continued through that. We did even more sittings during that because we couldn't go
you
anywhere.
couldn't go anywhere.
So while people were having that disconnect from the paranormal, I don't want to investigate, I'm having withdrawal, I never felt that. We never felt that
No,
because we were just doing the same thing.
I was with you guys on
Yeah.
yeah, I know. We didn't have any time with the missing investigation because that was going on. You know.
Mhm.
Yeah. If you begin to do something that's a passion or a goal or whatever it is, the worst thing you can do is forget why you're doing it. If you remember why you're doing it, that's like getting in the car and knowing where you're going. If you don't know where you're going, you don't know if you're off the path, you don't know if you're lost. When we started doing this, the goal was to replicate what we saw people like Bocce do, people like Dr. Annabelle Cardoso do when they were having dialogue in real time through a radio. And that fascinated me. And yes, the ghost boxes work. We have success with those, but the stuff I had seen them doing in Europe was insane. And so I didn't need to have everybody at the haunted event sitting around and going, oh, this is so cool. And if they did, that was awesome because then I was sharing with people. But the pat on the back was never the impetus for doing it. It was always a nice side perk. And then, and this is something for people, we know there are people in the field that will get bitter and will get angry with the rest of the community because, oh, she got this or you did that, and they have a sense of entitlement because they've invested time and now they're due something. Nobody owes you anything. And if you do it for the right reasons, you're always rewarded for what you're doing. The rewards don't have to come from an outside source all the time.
That's right.
And for us, that's how it worked. And then now with stuff that's going on, when we were at the Mass Paracon that Sam Baltrusas had us at, when we did the Haunted Hotels, the Dead Inns live episode, they had 2 haunted rooms. Sam was in one, Richard Estep was in the other one. And we had this little small room that wasn't a haunted room.
Tiny.
And everybody that was invited to come sit in during the investigation live during the thing, everybody freaking crowded into our room to hear direct radio voice. Patty Negri, everybody. The Bandoffs, right?
Yeah.
Haunted History
It
Radio.
wasn't haunted. And we got responses.
And they were dialoguing with Patty left and right through the white noise. It was insane. So that for us was nice to see.
Mm-hmm. Even in the Stanley Hotel, people tend to gather. They don't want to leave the room. They want to stay with us and listen to the direct radio voice. Yeah. We didn't start off like that. Like you said, we started off here just doing it every week.
And Maureen said something of herself that I hope people paid attention to, and if not, it's worth bringing back up, which is how she gets excited every time it happens or she nails something on the head, because what we're trying to do is categorically fantastical and theoretically taught to us to not even be possible. But we know that it is, and we know that we do. And so that should never become mundane and old to you. So that's, to me, that's also an indicator of you're in it for the right reasons.
Thank you.
And it's always a learning experience. Every time we go on investigations, doesn't matter. You always can learn something new. Doesn't matter how many years you're in it.
You should be learning something new every day, regardless of what it is. That's what life's about. I mean, if you're not learning something new every day, then.
But there's groups out there that, I mean, want to think they know everything about the paranormal. Leave your mind open, because you don't know everything, because it's something that is a learning experience every time. I mean, I started so long ago, and how much technology came along, you know? I started with dowsing rods, dowsing rods, a compass, and they know my story, 35 millimeter camera. Now I got digital cameras that see in the dark, I got all this equipment, and what Ron is doing now too. I mean, I think him, Lourdes, and Tony Rathman are going to come across, and I mean, if anybody's going to be communicating with the dead or whatever they might be communicating with, they're the ones going to bring it into the full form. And then you got the people that are going to design all this stuff, like like Katie and Steve, and all the other ones that out there designing. They're going to come across one day, and I don't know, like like Maureen was saying, one day we're just gonna be able to sit down and pick up a phone and say, "Hey, hotline to heaven," and talk to somebody. And you guys are just the beginning. Edison didn't start. Or Bell. Who designed the phone? Bell, wasn't it? I don't know. I know the guy with the cup with the string.
Alexander Graham Bell. Well,
Mr. Verizon.
Yeah.
Right, yeah.
it depends on what kind of technology you really want to talk about.
But I mean, that went on until until one day he got success. And that's what you guys are doing right now. You guys, the Graham Bell of the paranormal right now.
The dead.
Is this the phone you're talking about?
Yeah, Dowsy rods.
Candy canes.
Candy canes, yes.
Yeah.
Well,
And even Edison.
I mean, you guys are the future of this, really.
No, we appreciate that. Even
You can talk
when
now,
Edison
Ron. I'm sorry for cutting you off 3 times.
No problem. That's 4. It's 5, 6,
He
7.
talks constantly.
Not one.
Anthony's family. Even Thomas Edison, when he first put out a recording device, I think it was a cylinder. It was a electromagnetic cylinder. It would record and repeat voice back. There was a very prominent French scientist at the time who said, "I have examined Mr. Edison's device, and I assure you it is done through ventriloquism." So they didn't even think he was actually doing that. They thought he was throwing his voice at the time of playback. And this guy was a scientist. So scientist does not trump human in the list of identifying oneself. Scientist is a label or a vocation. It is not a categorization of a type of person. You're still a person, and biases exist. And when bias is in the driver's seat, I don't care if you're the fry cook at a fast food chain or you're an astrophysicist. If you're following bias as your driver, you're not filtering things clean. You're not coming from a neutral place. You're not looking for answers. You're serving an agenda, and that's a whole other ball of wax. But
I mean, that talks to what Anthony was saying about someone in the paranormal who thinks that they know everything and they don't want to learn anything. Someone from my experiencing people, observing people, someone like that is usually like that about everything in life, not just the paranormal. They're like that with everything in life.
That's true.
And like Ron says, with science, you know how there were scientists back in the day that said everything that we needed to learn about science, it's all been discovered. But then now we're in the 21st century, and it so much has happened technology-wise since then. But back then, in the 1800s, they were saying all the discoveries that had to be made, all the major discoveries were all done, and that was not true. So you always gonna come across people like that. So it's just about doing what you love, doing your thing, doing it best, and see what happens.
And a lot of people inherit those dispositions, especially in the paranormal. I mean, I can see if a scientist, if somebody's vetted into certain school of thought, or they're trying to protect their tenure, or whatever it is, so they adhere to this Newtonian materialist worldview, which is not supported. There's a number of ways, including consciousness study, where it completely falls apart. But I get that, at least why they do it from a human point of view, and they're defending their turf. But a lot of people, when I hear people in the paranormal go, "Yeah, well, we do everything very scientific," that is a broad description to say scientific, because there's a lot of different things that you could slap that label onto something and deem it scientific. Like for methods, if the method can't be falsified, the method's not scientific. That's a definition. And that's one of the problems with things like string theory, right? You can't falsify it, so it's very difficult to say scientifically and theoretically that that's something to hang your hat on. So there's a lot of, and this is something I'm really big on. I'm big on continuity of thought and continuity of terminology, and using the right words for what we're describing or setting the stage for it. Because once we propagate falsehoods or something that's misconstrued, That's what goes out there. And then you see people out in the field with a spirit box, putting it in a Faraday pouch so they can block radio so they don't get any false positives. Meanwhile, the radio reception is what the methodology is predicated on. Then, after they've already counterproductively put the thing into a bag that conducts the signal around and away from the radio, then they run an external speaker out of the pouch with a little wire to a speaker. Guess what that wire is now? That's your antenna. So now you just undid the entire process you started out doing. So this is like, we have to understand what we're doing and why we're doing it and why things are called certain things. And then some of the blackboard needs to be erased and reprinted. And that'll probably, if we're perpetually learning, that'll probably be a process that doesn't ever stop. Because we're going to be wrong sometimes.
So when you're mentioning say things correctly, are you referring that to me?
No.
No, not at all, reindeer.
Yes.
Not at all.
No.
Reindeer.
I'm
No.
destroying the English language. So.
No. No, Selmer.
No summer. Oh, I'm wearing a summer shirt.
It is a Selmer.
Yeah, I was thinking of Bill Freeman when I put it on.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
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 He's the only. He was the one who took care of Selma, but he passed recently. It's been like a year already, right? I think.
Been a while. Yeah, Chris brought him up last week. Chris Cesare.
Did
Yeah.
He brought him up last week. You know, that he, you know, yeah. Bill was a good guy. It was like
He was a good guy. Yeah.
Yeah, we
So I
did something that we didn't, it wasn't expected right away, you know? Yeah, rest in peace, Bill. Yeah.
Yeah. So Selmer.
Selmer.
Because Ron. Anthony doesn't say Selma. He says Selmer.
Selmer. Selmer Mansion. Hey.
We hear
Right
lots
there.
of interesting things come out of his mouth on this show.
Anthony's awesome.
Yeah.
He's unapologetic Anthony Simonelli, and that's how you should be. He's awesome.
That's why I wound up with my name Loki. Thanks to Anthony over there. Loki.
I love having him as my co-host.
I couldn't remember her name. Lourdes was in the name of my life. I didn't know any Lourdes in my life. So when she goes, my name is Lourdes, I'm like, I was calling her mine things, Lodi, what was it? A couple of names. And then we just settled on Loki.
Yeah, they call me Loki.
But now I know your name is Lourdes. See that? I could say it.
I know. I'm so sorry.
And it's too late.
Only took me 5 years.
And it's too late because now everybody Loki stuck. People call me Loki.
Loki. Everybody calls you Loki now.
You must say your name like 100 times every episode.
Yeah, I know.
Lourdes Gonzalez. Lourdes. You're like a third part of our show.
Yeah, you guys.
Aww.
Well, you
We
know
love you
something. You know what happens? They give me $1 every time they say their name.
Oh, is that what it is?
They
Where's
pay
my
me off.
Yeah.
Now you do it.
Oh, it's still in the air? I'm sorry, I forgot.
Yes.
Most of the stuff I do nowadays, it's the three of us. It's the four of us, because Joe Zeppi, he's part of us also. So it's like the four of us, we always do stuff together. You know, we go on investigation together, we do the radios together and everything like that. So it's like, you know, that's why when I talk about stuff, hey, what am I going to bring up? The people I just been with. You know?
Yeah.
Take it easy, reindeer. Don't get all hostile.
They got my Pellegrino water.
To Anthony, like real quick.
Yeah, but yeah, that's the most important thing. At the end of the day, year, month, whatever you want to term it, is there's a lot of really cool people in this community who have all different skill sets and backgrounds, from mediumship, witches, investigators, you know, ITC, whatever it is. They build things, they conceive things. It's such a cool group of people that I think that everybody gets, not everybody, but sometimes people get too fixated or focused and they perseverate on the wrong stuff.
I agree.
You know, you could spend Anthony's part of most of what we do, and when he can't make something, it's disappointing for us, and we get that he has the life and other things going on. But I mean, honestly, that I was quiet at the beginning, got a little tired tonight. We had like a long
yourself at all. Your energy was
it's a long week, yeah. And so I'm bringing it up because the only reason I'm here is because we love you guys. You two guys are people that we love.
Thank you.
But we would not have even done a show tonight because we've been up doing sessions and then getting up for work, and it's been a lot of running around.
And then it's close to the holidays, But we're like, we got to do this.
So I'm not sick, not upset. I'm just tired today.
You don't. If you are asked, you never have to feel like you need to be here. We understand that. That's not an issue at all. Don't ever feel like you're obligated.
Feel like an obligation. No, it felt like that. This is a chance for us to talk with you guys, and we wanted to do it.
And we love you for it. But thank you for being with us. We really appreciate it. We love you for it. It was so wonderful having you here. It was a lot of fun, and I hope you had a good time.
Thank you, guys. I want to wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Hopefully we see each other, but maybe we'll see each other next year. So
happy to know
next year.
But we were talking, hey, when we talk on the phone, it's like 2 hours or 3.
I know it's true. Maureen should have known that this was going to be a 3-hour show if we were going to be on it.
We've had so many 3-hour shows, or we do a 2-hour show, and then we talk for 2 hours after it. My husband's like, what the hell?
Yeah. Well, the same thing.
What
are you guys talking about? We're talking about the show.
We were talking about the show. We were talking about travel. We were talking about baseball. We were talking about cats. Thank you so much, guys. Thank you, Katie. Thank you, Venus. Thank you, Bobby. Thank you, Ron. Thank you, everybody for watching. It was so much fun tonight. This was like probably one of my favorite shows in certain ways, but a lot of our shows were really fun and like I love the educational part of this stuff, because the reason why I really wanted to do this show to begin with was for the educational portion of it, because I think too many shows are done to like sensationalize things, but I think a lot of people don't understand certain parts of the paranormal or the unknown, or like if we ever did a show on, say, Satanism, I think too many people think that it's like scary and spooky and like people cringe when they hear the words, but I don't think enough people understand what Satanism truly is. So I really wanted to have this be an educational series to have people understand and be able to ask questions. And I think it's important because it is the unknown and it's scary. So that's how this all began. But it really is a fun show, and it's meant to be fun and informative and educational, and to bring people like you on so that everyone gets to ask questions and understand things more, so it's not as terrifying. And and I really thank you guys for being here and helping us out with that. And I hope
appreciate you guys being here.
That your egos aren't too bruised because you were losers.
I know. Well, that's why he was quiet, because I was getting all the answers right.
Yeah. You'll be sleeping on the porch. You'll be sleeping on the porch tonight with your hat. But I love doing this type of stuff because it's fun and it's not like so serious all the time. And so I think we might throw this in once in a while. And Anthony's going to have to come up with the questions next time so I can like bust balls too.
Hey.
That's
right,
Anthony. So
but
stop on
I had all the questions written down. I don't know what happened.
It was in his head, and that's empty now.
My head's always done. I'm old. I can't remember nothing from one minute to the next. It's senior moment time. Yeah.
Thank you so
much.
much.
Happens. Hey, you know what happens? Okay.
Ron, I know you're asleep sitting up right now. So
Yeah, he always does.
Thank you so much. Merry Christmas. Happy New Year. I look forward to seeing you guys very soon. Maybe we'll do an investigation together.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
And Merry
Well,
Christmas.
we'll get to George Taylor house. And,
could you stop interrupting me?
I'm sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
I was trying to say Merry Christmas and Happy New Year here.
Yeah, forget about it.
Now you can talk.
Thank you so much.
Thank my wife.
We
No,
love
Merry
you guys.
Christmas, Happy New Year. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank
So-
you guys for having us. We appreciate it. It was fun. We had a lot of fun.
Thank
Yeah.
you so much. We
And
love you.
forget about it.
Yeah. This was Incantations and Elixirs, where conversations meet cocktails and our game show night with our good friends, Ron Yacovetti and Lourdes Gonzalez. Thank you. Have a great night. Merry Christmas.
Like I said, forget about it.
Forget about it.